The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
It's one of the toughest times you'll ever face when someone close to you passes away. It's a swirl of papers to sign and arrangements to be made, all while you're dealing with grief. At Brown Funeral Home, we encourage you to pre-plan. Pre-planning.
We welcome you back into Applemen Park, where along with Matt Crawford, I'm Matt Miller. Caleb Falero is our studio engineer. Our first broadcast of the season for West Virginia high school baseball. It's the Musselman Applemen hosting the Jefferson Cougars. Today's opening pitch is brought to you by the Mortgage Center on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg, where Mark and Cheryl Savitt treat you like family with personal one-on-one service, walking with you through the process from application to settlement, plus low interest rates and closing costs. Hey, don't let someone throw you a pitch when it comes to your mortgage. Phone 304-267-9040 or go online at mortgagefinancing.com. Towing the pitching rubber, getting in his warm-up tosses, is the junior Caleb Horner. Experience on the hill last year as a sophomore, and you know that experience certainly will bode well for him going into this junior year, and for Musselman faithful, still another year to come for him, and that is obviously a good thing as he has been very solid.
Yeah, absolutely. No decisions on the year so far. 0-0 is his record. He's played in 2 games with 1 start, 4 innings total, pitched a 2.25. ERA has given up 5 hits, 3 runs, only 1 of those runs earned, and a nice 2-to-1 strikeout ratio, 8 strikeouts to just 4 base on balls. So a good season on the mound so far to start this one.
Helen, clearly pitching is the hardest part, I think, of the early part of the season. This is not a pitcher's night. Look, let's be honest. The sun is out. Shadows are beginning to stretch across the field. From the first base side out towards the pitcher's mound, just past the pitcher's mound now, and headed towards third base. The left fielder, the third baseman, shortstop, pop flies or maybe a soft type of liner could end up in the sun. Going to be tough, but you add in that little bit of a breeze. While it looks like a nice night out here, it is chilly as we get this one started, and the temperature's only going to go down, which is hard on the arms of these pitchers.
Yeah, which means pitchers are going to want to work quickly. When you're at the high school level, that can mean one of 2 things. Either you got pinpoint accuracy and you are on, consistently moving quick, or it can be a very long night if you're trying to work quick. So I think one of the keys to this game is both guys on the bump have to figure out what's working and just keep the game within themselves.
Hayden Stang, left fielder, steps into the left-hand batter's box. We're ready to get this game underway. And that first pitch, a fastball just off the outside corner. And today's opening pitch coming at 6:58. Counted a ball and no strikes to the Jefferson leadoff hitter. 4 hits, 7 at-bats in the early part of this season. Takes this one right down the middle. And the count evens 1-1.
That's good enough for a .444 batting average. Has driven in 2 on the seasons and no round trippers.
He awaits that next pitch. There's that breaking pitch. Starts outside, but then breaks in across that outside corner. That's a called strike, 2. Nice pitch from Horner.
Yeah, if Horner can live there, that's perfect. Nobody's going to be able to touch the outside of the part of the plate there, especially if he's starting further outside.
Now that 1-2 pitch chopped down into the dirt, bounces over top of the umpire and towards the backstop. The count at 1-2 strikes. It holds to Hayden Stang, who saw plenty of playing time last year as a sophomore for Jefferson. A relatively young Jefferson team, just 2 seniors, 4 juniors, 4 sophomores in today's starting lineup. Next delivery down and in. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes to Stang.
You say relatively young, but still a lot of names that we saw last year. So while they are young, they are an experienced youth team.
Now that 2-2 pitch on the way, down and in. Good eye by Stang as he draws the count full. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming with the count 3-2 for Stang. He has drawn a walk and has also struck out once this season. Here comes that payoff pitch, and he sends that one foul down the third baseline. Defensive swing, just reaching out, protecting the outside part of the plate, sends that soft liner foul down the third base side.
Yeah, Horner wanted to go back to the outside part of the plate, and Stang realized that, waited back just long enough to foul it off and live to see another pitch. Great first at-bat here of the game by Stang in that leadoff spot.
Yep, eighth pitch of the at-bat, and he'll waste this one. Fouls it back out of play just to the left of our broadcast position. It holds at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And this is what you want in a leadoff guy. You want to see at least 5 to 6 pitches, so he's in the green right now when it comes to pitches. You want that leadoff guy to make the pitcher throw everything in his arsenal.
Well, that ninth pitch going to miss outside and low, and Stang draws the base on balls, his second this season, and he is aboard at first for Corey Daly. Now you tip your cap in that one to Stang as he made Horner work hard. Horner tried to go back to that outside corner and couldn't get it. So now Corey Daly to the plate, today's designated hitter. Open stance in the right-hand batter's box as he takes a fastball on the inside corner for strike one. Now Stang with pretty good speed, held on at first by Trevor Sharp. Stretches out a decent lead, and now we'll make that dive back to first as Horner throws over.
Don't think that was Horner's A move. Just going out on the limb there. Don't think that was A1 move.
Nah, just the reminder.
Just keeping him honest.
Yeah, that I know you're there. Here comes that next delivery, and that fastball slipping out of the hand of Horner sails high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Our plate umpire is Jeff King. Base umpire Dave Boyd. Switching places after the JV game earlier. Nice breaking pitch, snaps down in there for a strike, and it's 1-2.
That's the same breaking pitch we saw in that first at-bat against Stang. This time coming right at the batter with a right-handed batter now up in Daly, and then cutting right back inside at the last minute.
Yeah, had Daly flinching. He gets a fastball in on his hands, pops it up down the line in left field. A long run for the left fielder, and it will be a fair ball and a diving attempt, but unable to come up with it. Sean Hammond, and stopping at second will be Stang. Daly will be aboard at first. Hammond did not get a good read on that one, really had a hard time as he finally picked it up, had a long run in and to his right. Andy Wolf at third and Devin Moxley, the shortstop, both going out. Could never really get a bead on it, and it is somewhat of an base hit to put runners at first and second.
Yeah, really in that Bermuda Triangle, what they call it, behind third base. It's a tough play for that left fielder to come in. It's an awkward play for the third baseman, and it's a long run for that shortstop, even though the shortstop's probably got the best play at the baseball.
Brings up Stevie Lee, shows bunt as he takes a fastball off the outside corner for a strike. Trevor Sharp at first, coming down the line with the left-hand batter showing that bunt. The third baseman, Wolf, staying put there. Musselman would like to get that lead runner should the bunt be laid down. Again, showing bunt, but taking the pitch. It misses high and outside, and Lee has the count at 2-0.
Lee, a .385 hitter, has driven in 4 on the season, could be number 5. He's got 1 at second with no outs, but again, looking like he's going to try to sacrifice and get 2 runners in scoring position for Zach Rose coming up next.
Well, now taking the bunt off as he does not show bunt, but takes that pitch all the way. It's a strike on the inside corner, 2-1. Lee with pretty good speed if he is able to lay down a bunt. I tell you, he can make things happen. First baseman playing in behind the runner as the pitch is bounced towards the second baseman. Could be 2. He's got it, tags the runner, but then cannot make the throw to first. Justin Murphy fielding that one with the glove, reached out to tag. Daly going by, and then could not control the baseball to make a throw to first, and Lee will reach on the fielder's choice, putting runners at the corners with 1 away.
I wasn't sure what our field umpire was going to call that. I mean, Murphy made the tag, and then the ball came out, so luckily they get him on the transfer to keep 1 out on that play and make it, like you said, the fielder's choice. And now runners at the corner. Still that double play opportunity, so Hayden Stang could be stranded at third base.
Zach Rose, another left-hand batter, takes the first pitch down and in. Runner was on the move, and the throw from the catcher Bartles goes right back to the pitcher, Caleb Horner, off the front slope of the mound. He then pivoted and looked at third to make sure Stang stayed put there. So Stevie Lee will get the stolen base without the benefit of the throw. Count will be a ball and no strikes to Rose. Now that double play off, 2 in scoring position as this pitch misses up and away. 2 balls, no strikes.
There's that speed you talked about with Stevie Lee, a guy that was used a lot in the pinch running game last year, and he's made his way into the starting lineup this year. And again, that speed is dangerous. He's easily in scoring position with that speed at second base now.
2-0 pitch in on the hands of Rose. He fights it off. A foul ball out of play. Again, back to the left of our broadcast position here in the press box. 2 balls and a strike to the sophomore. Rose with 4 hits in 14 at bats. Stands near the back of the box, somewhat crowds the plate in that left-hand box. It swings and gets a piece of that one, fouls it off the backstop. Count at 2-2. Horner in need of a strikeout. As you mentioned earlier, he's got 8 in 4 innings of work on the hill so far this season. First base open with runners at second and third. No score, top of the first inning. 1 down. And Rose awaiting that 2-2 pitch.
I expect that hook from Horner to kind of cut back in off the backside of the plate here with 2 strikes.
Well, there is that pitch, and it is fouled to the backstop, holding at 2-2. Rose did a nice job kind of waiting back on that one. Steps out and takes a practice cut. Lights already on as the shadows continue to stretch out across the field. Here's the pitch, hit in the air into center field, ranging over to his right. Hartman is there now in left center. He's got it and makes the throw to the cutoff man, and no throw through to the plate as Hayden Stang was able to tag, and he'll come home and score on the sacrifice fly from Zach Rose. His second run batted in on the season, and it will give Jefferson the early 1-0 lead.
And that's how you play small ball. You get guys on base, you work them around, use those steals, and then attempt the bunt. Didn't get the bunt to work, but was able to move guys around. Then a good sacrifice to center field right there for Rose to get the first run of this ball game. 1-0 here, Jefferson in the top of the first.
Holding at second base was Stevie Lee. He's there with 2 outs now, and Taylor Tennant a chance to help his own cause. The right-hand batter fouls the first pitch back out of play, first base side.
Tennant leading this team in RBIs, or at least leading the team in the starting lineup today. He's driven in 6 on the year to go along with a .545 batting average.
Yeah, he has definitely gotten off to a hot start. He's pitched well also. We'll give you those totals when he takes the mound in the bottom half of this inning. There's that breaking pitch again from Horner. Tennant takes. It's a strike. Count 0-2. Here comes that 0-2 pitch. Horner looking at the runner at second, delivers, and it's a bouncer right back out in front of the mound. Down off the mound, Horner fields and makes the throw to Sharp at first in time to get him. Tennant on an 0-2 pitch is out on the comebacker, 1-3. It brings the inning to a close. It was an adventurous first inning for Caleb Horner. A walk, a hit, a fielder's choice, and a sacrifice fly, putting Jefferson on the board first. Through a half an inning, it's Jefferson 1 and Musselman coming to bat.
It's one of the toughest times you'll ever face when someone close to you passes away. It's a swirl of papers to sign and arrangements to be made, all while you're dealing with grief. At Brown Funeral Home, we encourage you to pre-plan. Pre-planning not only makes things easier for you, it protects you from rising costs. At Brown Funeral Home, our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 South in Chambersburg.
It's a 1-0 Jefferson lead. Musselman to the plate, home half of inning number 1. Time for our first inning, first look forecast. You know, weather's so important to the game of baseball. Right now, sunny skies, the sun setting, those shadows continuing to work their way across the field from the first base side out towards left field and center field and eventually all the way across this field. The temperature not bad, 46 degrees, but there is just a little bit of a breeze making it feel more like, maybe the lower 40s to upper 30s. It's only going to get worse once that sun goes down, as the overnight low going to get to 25. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a little warmer, 53. The Wednesday night low around 30. And then for a Thursday, a little more cloud cover, but warmer temperatures at 63 degrees. And the overnight low on Thursday night will be about 47. That is your first inning, first look forecast. Blake Hartman to get it started for the Musselman Applemen here in the bottom half of inning number 1. Hartman, a right-hand batter, a sophomore. A key part of this Musselman team a season ago, even as a freshman, coming off a campaign last year that finished at 13-16. First pitch from Taylor Tennant will miss high for ball 1.
Tennant on the season. This is his third start. He's been in 3 games before this. Comes in with a 2-0 record, a 1.48 ERA as that ball misses for ball number 2. He comes in 9 2/3 inning of work, 3 hits, 4 runs, 2 of those earned, 8 strikeouts to 6 base on balls.
Here comes the delivery, and going the other way, Hartman sends it down the line, and it is going to drop in a fair ball. Ranging over to his left, Mason Lance, the right fielder, and he kind of held up and let that one take the bounce, and has head coach John Lowry Sr. off the chair in front of the dugout along the first base line. He really felt like his right fielder could have gotten there to make that play.
Yeah, that's a case where that ball dropped at Lance's feet after he hesitated right at the end. I think he was afraid that ball was going to get by him and give an early base runner, so wanted to be safe, but I think a play he could have made in shallow right.
It's a base hit for Hartman. He keeps that 1,000 batting average going as he dives back into first with a quick throw over, now 5 for 5. It's a good start to the season.
Yeah, it's starting in the right direction.
Caleb Horner to the plate. First pitch to him. Good low fastball from Tennant. Horner swings right over the top of it for strike 1.
Horner not quite batting 1,000 like Hartman, but 500 on the season, has driven in 3 so far early in this young season. Game 4 for the Applemen.
Tennant with a fastball. That one a high strike on the outside part of the plate, and that is strike 2.
I'm not sure our home plate umpire wanted to call that a strike, but pulled the trigger at the end. Like you said, I thought it could have been a ball high and outside, but no 2 count as Tennant will check over to first.
A little bit of a borderline upper part of the strike zone, about letter high, armpit high as that one came through, and now Horner's going to have to protect.
And not an issue if that's going to be consistently there all night.
Runner on the move. Tennant takes the pitch. The fastball misses high, and sliding in safely out at second. Hartman has the stolen base as the throw from Colson Titus was a little bit high. Backing up on that play, Chase Anderson, the second baseman, able to grab it, and he'll take it back to Tennant. Horner will step back in, count at a ball and 2 strikes, and now a runner in scoring position.
Which makes that play in right field by Lance just that much more important that he should have made out there in right as that breaking ball misses outside in the dirt. Now 2-2.
Good eye by Horner to lay off of that one. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The batter will be Ethan Wilson, due next. Tennant with the pitch, fastball that stays high, and now it's full. 3-2.
Good patience by Horner, down 0-2 quick, and was able to stay strong at the plate. Now a full count, and he could be the second base runner with a good eye here. Again, Tennant has walked 6 so far this season, 8 strikeouts.
Here is the pitch, and a line drive back up the middle, knocks the glove off of the pitcher Tennant as he was reaching up to try to grab it. Then the ball slowly dies in the grass in front of second, picked up by Chase Anderson, the second baseman. Throw to first, not in time, and Horner will have a base hit up the middle.
And that is the one thing you don't see a lot, but it's surprising you don't see it as much because pitchers don't really wear that glove all the way down their palm. It really just kind of sits there as a device to hold the baseball, and you get a ball hit hard enough, and that's what happens. Like you said, Tennant's glove came right off, no hesitation there. Now runners at the corner with no outs here.
Ethan Wilson is the batter. He'll take down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. And Wilson, just like Horner, ahead of him with a .500 batting average, 4 hits, 8 trips to the plate, no homers, and he's got 4 driven in. Right now, third on the team in that category. Runner is on the move towards second, and the throw down is in time to get him. Hartman stayed put at third. Judging by the way Horner went into second base, it almost seemed like he was thinking there may be the double steal going on, a little bit of a hesitation. He gets thrown out for the first out of the inning.
What it looked like was Anderson was coming in front of the bag. So I think that it was a possibility that Hartman thought possibly he was going to cut that off in front of the bag. That wasn't the case, so Hartman stuck at third, 1 out now.
Off-speed pitch on the 2-0, taken on the outside corner by Ethan Wilson. 2 balls, 1 strike, so Hartman still at third with 1 down and a 2-1 count now to Wilson. Infield draws in as they'll try to get the run at the plate, and it's a ground ball right to the third baseman. Cullen Horowitz looking the runner back, fires across the diamond in time to get Wilson. Holding at third is Hartman. He'll be there with 2 outs.
That's a great play by young Horowitz, and that shows the experience by just a sophomore. Played a lot as a freshman, did a good job of checking Hartman back to third and working into the middle of the infield and making a dart throw to Zach Rose over first base for out number 2. So runner still stranded at third is Blake Hartman. He reached second with no outs in the inning.
They've got the guy at the plate they want right now. Ben Bartles leading this team with 8 runs batted in, and he's got another. First pitch line drive right over top of Tennant, the pitcher, and into center field. RBI number 9. It scores Hartman from third. We got a tie ball game at 1.
And a shot right back where it came from. That's what coaches tell you when you're going up through the system, is hit it back where it came from. And that one, if you look closely, actually took Tennant's glove off again. He was able to cradle it like he was catching a punt, but boy's got to put his glove on his hand. He could have made 2 outs so far.
Yeah, that one ticked the top part as it went through. Another base hit for Bartles, now 5 for 12 on the season with 9 runs batted in. He's at first with 2 outs, and Trevor Sharp, the batter, taking a fastball for strike 1. So each team's leadoff batter reaching in this first inning and coming around to score. Tied at 1. Off-speed pitch grounded towards the shortstop. Down to get that one, Gonzalez. He'll make the underhand toss to Anderson, covering at second. Bartles is erased there. That play goes 6-4, and it will bring the inning to a close, but the damage is done. 3 hits in the inning for Musselman. They played a run, and as we go to the second, it's Jefferson 1 and Musselman 1.
Whether you need business cards, banners, magnets, office stationery, or perma material, Panhandle Printing and Design can make it happen. Call 304-267-7400 for a quote, or visit us on the web at panhandleprintdesign.com.
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
Welcome back to Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10 coverage of high school baseball on this Tuesday evening. Back with you again tomorrow from down at St. Jefferson. We'll be on the air at 5 with Miller time, an abbreviated edition, as at 5:40 we'll jump into the pregame as it's a 6 o'clock first pitch. Hedgesville Jefferson tomorrow. Looking forward to that one. Right now we got a good one, 1-1 as we go to the top of the second for the Cougars.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, like you said in the bottom part of that first inning, it was a case where both teams got the leadoff runner on and really worked small ball. A couple more hits for the Musselman, Applemen in the bottom part of that first, but small ball so far in this one as we bring you our initial TV 10 baseball broadcast. We're attempting new territory here, so bear with us tonight. Again, a little bit of growing pains with the baseball side of things. So
right now a still camera shot.
Yeah. But just glad to be bringing you some baseball here in late March.
Look to make an adjustment on that tomorrow. Colson Titus is the batter to get it started for Jefferson, taking that first pitch apparently just down low for ball one.
It looked like a strike at the knees from our vantage point, but maybe a little bit lower at the shins.
Next pitch, this one in there for a strike, evens things up 1-1 to the sophomore catcher, number 6 hitter in the order. He'll be followed by Cullen Horowitz and then Mason Lance to start this Jefferson second inning. Foul ball back to the backstop on the 1-1, makes it a ball and 2 strikes.
And Titus protecting there. All 3 pitches have been relatively in the same location, right at about the knee. One for a ball, one for a strike. So he's got to protect that because he's not sure which one that is.
3 hits in 7 at-bats on the season for the young catcher as he takes down low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's a .429 average. No homers. He has driven in a pair. Open stance in that right-hand batter's box. There's that breaking pitch, misses inside and glances off the helmet of Titus. Hit by the pitch, he'll take first base.
And that is hanging in there. Not a lot of kids at this level are going to be able to hang in there, and there's a ball breaking at their head. And you can probably hear the clunk on our crowd mic. That hit off of his helmet.
He's A-OK, takes his position down at first base, held on there by Trevor Sharp as Cullen Bear Horowitz comes to the plate. Big right-hand batter. Another young player, a sophomore, who takes a very healthy cut at that first pitch, fouling it back for strike one.
Yeah, a kid that's trying to go with the major league approach to power hitting. 2 home runs on the year, driven in 3, but only hitting at a 231 pace. So he's got the pop in his bat. He's got to work on completing his game at the plate.
The next pitch, a high strike on the outside corner, and that is 0-2. There's that pitch we saw earlier, so there's that consistency from Jeff King. That one about letter high along that outside part of the plate. So now 0-2. Horowitz will have to protect. Corner to the plate, and off the end of the bat, it's a line drive sinking into center field. It's going to drop in front of Hartman. He'll play it on one bounce, getting it in and holding the runners to one base as Titus stops at second. Horowitz is aboard at first with a base hit into center.
Good little inside-out swing, protecting on 2 strikes. Drove it basically right back where it came from into center field. Had a little bit of a tail to right field on it and dropped in front of the center fielder, Hartman.
So it brings up Mason Lance, a junior right fielder out of that number 8 spot in the order. Let's see if he's ready to lay down a bunt and advance the runners. Wolf at third is expecting that as he was playing in front of the bag. Pitch to the plate. It is a strike. He gets away from the catcher and now breaking for third and diving in safely there will go Titus, and Horowitz will take second as no middle infielder is there to cover that base as everyone was scampering around covering the corner bases with the ball bouncing in the dirt and away from Bartles behind the plate.
Yeah, I think a lot of people assumed it went off the bat of Lance, but apparently did not hit the bat and just went into the dirt, allowing the runners to advance. So 2 ducks in the pond now for Lance as that ball breaks in for strike 2.
So 0-2 now to Lance with 2 in scoring position. May very well go down as an E2, not handling that one, or perhaps a wild pitch on the bunt attempt on that pitch down low. Swinging away here, it's a ground ball to the shortstop. Moxley able to handle that in between hop and just about thigh high and then make that throw across the diamond in time to get Lance. He'll pick up his 3rd run batted in on the season, though, as on that ground ball. Titus comes home to score from third, and Jefferson now takes the 2-1 lead.
And it's a mirror image of what happened in that first inning. Early, the leadoff runner gets on. They work him around due to some plays at the plate and just working the ball around, and a 2-1 lead now in the top of the second for the Jefferson Cougars.
Chase Anderson, the number 9 hitter in the order, taking strike 1. So the RBI ground out for Lance, 1 down in the inning, a run in, and by the way, the runner Horowitz held at second base with that ground ball in front of him. So he's still in scoring position as Anderson fouls the 0-1 back out of play. That one again to the left of the press box, and the count 0-2. Sun setting, no more shadows across the field. The lights beginning to take effect. And we'll keep an eye on that temperature. That is going to continue to dip as well. Off-speed pitch bounced towards the shortstop. Coming in, circling around it, Moxley. He's got it. Throw low and wide of Sharp. Up the right field side of the first base bag. Scoots by him and into foul territory. And that will allow a run to score as Horowitz was going to stop at third, but able to come around on the error. Anderson going to end up at second base 2 runs in the inning as Jefferson now leads 3-1.
Yeah, Wolf played a borderline play whether he should have held on to that baseball. Sharp, I think, at that point needs to just get off the bag and protect the base with his body, just keep that ball in front of him no matter what, especially with Horowitz advancing to third because that ball got by him, which it did. Horowitz is going to score easily.
Back to the top of the order, Hayden Stang swinging at the first pitch, grounds it right at the first baseman, Trevor Sharp. He stays down on it, fields it, and then takes it to first himself. That will retire Stang for the second out of the inning. Advancing on the play goes Anderson from second to third, and another run just 90 feet away. 2 outs in the inning for Corey Daly. He had that bloop single down the left field line his first time up. Open stance in that right-hand batter's box. Horner goes to work and misses down low and in. Ball 1.
I'm surprised you saw Stang swing at the first pitch with the phenomenal at-bat he had in that first inning, which was, I think, 8 or 9 pitches. I was surprised he went out swinging at that first pitch, but saw something he liked and did move the run up to third base.
Here comes the pitch, a swing and a miss here, and it's 1-1. At the same time you say that, Horowitz saw only 3 pitches before his single, and were all strikes. Lance, same thing, 3 strikes. Anderson, 3 strikes. So 9 straight strikes thrown by Horner. Maybe that is exactly what Stang was thinking. Pitch low and outside, bounces away from Bartles, and that'll be a wild pitch, allowing the run to score as Chase Anderson comes in from third. Boy, tough inning here for Horner and the Musselman Applemen. 3 runs have crossed the plate as Jefferson has taken a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, a ball that was off the plate but did nick the glove of Bortles, and one of the things you usually hear baseball players say is if it hits your glove, you got to catch it or at least knock it down. Just nicked off his glove and was able to get all the way back to the backstop, a relatively deep backstop here at Applemen Park.
2-1 pitch, good fastball. Daly swings through it. Count now 2 balls, 2 strikes. So 3 runs in, the bases are empty. 2 outs in the inning. Couple of errors and a wild pitch contributing to the runs on the board. There's that breaking pitch, just missing as the count goes full 3-2. Wow, everyone here wants to know exactly where that pitch was as Daly froze in that right-hand batter's box and takes ball 3. Payoff pitch from Horner on the way, up and in, ball 4. I tried to get him with a fastball, but that one got away from him. High and tight, second walk allowed by Horner.
Again, I think it should have been a strikeout in that last pitch from Horner, and you mentioned everybody not sure where that ball was. It was right down the middle. I think the bigger question is, why did that not get called strike 3? Good breaking ball, though. I'm guessing it probably just broke too late and just didn't cross the front of the plate where it ended, but looked awful good from our angle.
It'll bring up Stevie Lee, number 3 hitter in the order, and the 7th batter to come to the plate in the Jefferson half of this second inning. Lee reached on a fielder's choice his first time up. Throw over to first, and Daly back in on the dive. 3 runs in the inning. A hit batter, a single, a couple of errors, an RBI ground outs, a base on balls. 2 outs with that runner at first. Runner goes as the pitch is fouled back. High fastball to Stevie Lee, protecting the plate, and the runner able to foul that one out of play.
Not sure if that was a planned hit and run. Looked like it from the way he chased that ball out of the zone, so trying to spark some 2-out magic here, as again the Cougars have already plated 3 in this inning.
The left-hand batter takes the fastball here that misses high. Count to Lee goes to 1 ball and 1 strike.
I think that may have been a case where Horner missed high intentionally, thinking Daly may be trying to steal second on back-to-back pitches.
He was not. He does stretch that lead out again. Pretty good lead, rocking back and forth as Horner delivers to the plate. It misses down low, now at 2 balls and 1 strike. After 26 pitches in that first inning, Caleb Horner getting up in that pitch count again here in this second inning. He's ready to go with the 2-1. And that one across the plate, but down low, now 3 balls and a strike. So Stevie Lee looking at an opportunity where he may get a pitch to hit. See if Daly is on the move on this 3-1 pitch. Nope, he stays, and the pitch misses. Down and in, ball 4. Back-to-back batters walked here with 2 outs in this second inning. Puts runners at first and second and brings up the left-hand hitting Zach Rose. Quick conference on the mound. Second baseman Murphy and the shortstop Moxley both in to try to settle things down for Caleb Horner. Looking back to our earlier JV game, Jefferson raced out to the big lead, and then Musselman rallied. They had the potential tying and winning runs on base when the final out was recorded, and Jefferson held on for a 9-8 lead over the Applemen. Well, action is back underway after that brief conference, and Zach Rose fouls the first pitch out of play along the third base side.
For his first at-bat, he hit a sacrifice fly to score a run out to center field.
Shortstop ducks in behind the runner at second. First baseman playing behind that runner at first with 2 on and 2 outs. Pitch to Rose, high and tight. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, you mentioned earlier this inning there's a lot of quick at-bats. And over the last couple of batters, you see a lot more patience at the plate for the Cougars. We get a timeout at the plate.
Yeah, Rose asked for and is granted time by plate umpire Jeff King. He'll step out and now dig back in. Horner from the stretch, and the pitch fouled out of play again, third base side. Counted a ball and 2 strikes. Horner trying to get the final out of this inning without any further damage. 3 runs already crossing the plate. Jefferson leads it 4-1. 2 on, 1 in scoring position with runners at first and second. Here's the pitch, a wave and a miss. Rose was fooled by that one, chased it off the outside corner. That is a big strikeout for Horner. His 9th on the season, first on the night. Couldn't have come at a better time as it gets him out of some trouble. Still the damage done as Jefferson puts 3 on the board. And as we go to the bottom of the second, it is now Jefferson 4 and Musselman 1.
When you're hurting, Inwood, and Charlestown Ranson, we're here when you need us.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your 4-state roofing solution. Reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
Then we go to the bottom half of inning number 2. Musselman able to match Jefferson in the first inning when the Cougars scored a run in the top of the first. Let's see if they can do it again here in the bottom of the second after giving up 3 runs in the top of the inning. It's a 4-1 lead for Jefferson. Up for the Musselman Applemen, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Sean Hammond to get it started, followed by Justin Murphy and then Andy Wolf. They'll face Taylor Tennant, who in that first inning threw 15 pitches. 8 of those went for strikes. Infield gathers on the hill with the pitcher after that final warm-up toss. And now Hammond gets ready to stand in. The junior starting left fielder will hit from the right side.
The junior hitting .286 on the season, has driven in 3. No home runs to his credit so far this season.
Couple of hits in 7 at-bats. He swings through the first pitch from Tennant, and the count at 0-1. No walks, 2 strikeouts, so the batting average, also the on-base percentage right now at .286 as Hammond takes. This one's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Which is nice if you're hitting 500 or 600, but .286 isn't the greatest on-base percentage in the world.
1-1 pitch missing inside. Hammond spinning back out of the way of that one, and it did stay inside for ball 2.
Tennant just couldn't get it to bite just a couple more inches. I was coming in back door, but stayed a little too far inside. Misses this one way outside low into the dirt for a ball 3. Count 3-1 now on Hammond.
Yeah, Tennant certainly not getting the release point there where he wanted. He'll step off the back slope of the mound and now toe the pitching rubber, getting ready with that 3-1 delivery. Here it comes, and that fastball's on the outside corner for a strike. Hammond ready to toss that bat aside. Our plate umpire says, stay here.
It's a pitch you can leave with 1 strike. With 2 strikes, you're going to have to fight that pitch off on the outside part of the plate.
Here's a swing and a slow roller up the third base line. If that one stays fair, it's trouble, and it just trickles foul where it is touched by the pitcher, Taylor Tennant, who came racing over to make sure it stayed a foul ball, and Hammond will come back again.
Man, Tennant touched that ball awful quick. If I were him, I would let that roll a little bit more. It was definitely going to go further into foul territory, awful close to still being on that foul line down the left field line.
Our plate umpire, Jeff King, all over that one, able to look right down the line and see that one trickling foul before it was touched. So again, the 3-2 is due. Here it is. Fastball up and away. There's ball 4. So Hammond draws his first walk of the season. He's aboard for Justin Murphy. Mentioned earlier, Tennant with a couple of wins. Hasn't had to work real hard to get at least one of the 2 wins. He was the victor in the 21-2 victory over Berkeley Springs in the season opener back on March 14th. Went just 2 innings. Did give up the 2 runs on a hit. He struck out 5 and walked a pair. Starts Murphy with a breaking pitch here for strike 1. His other victory, that one he did have to work for in that 3-1 win against Martinsburg. Tosses over to first, chasing Hammond back in on the dive. In that one, he went the distance. 7 innings, complete game, gave up a run on 2 hits with 7 strikeouts and just 1 walk. Here comes a breaking pitch that stays a little up and in. Murphy showing a good eye as he lays off that one. 1 ball, 1 strike.
We saw that same pitch to Hammond. He's got the breaking ball working. He needs it to break another about inch in towards the plate on right-handed batters. They're staying just a little bit too far inside.
Here comes that 1-1, taken for a strike. Snap throw behind the runner at first. Hammond not a huge secondary lead, able to dive back in safely. By the way, that pitch was a called strike to Murphy. I thought, a ball and 2 strikes. So Murphy will step back in, awaiting that next pitch. Good deep knee bend in the right-hand batter's box, feet parallel, and he'll have to wait a little longer. Another throw to first. Rose holding Hammond on there. Tennant comes set in the right-hander, delivers a pitch, bounced foul. No, wait a minute. Is it a no? That one, okay, did not touch the bat. I was trying to get the hand signals from Jeff King. That was a swing and a miss on a pitch that bounced in the dirt, then off of the catcher Titus, straight up into the air behind home plate. It is a strikeout of Murphy, and Hammond will advance on that pitch in the dirt.
Yeah, there was a runner occupying first base, so the drop third strike rule does not apply for Murphy to try to get to first base, even though Hammond is on second right now, was at first base, and that pitch was thrown.
So Taylor Tennant gets his first strikeout of the night and now goes to work on Andy Wolf, starting the third baseman, a number 8 hitter, with a strike on the outside part of the plate. Wolf hitting from the right side, swings and bounces this one towards the first baseman. Playing that on the chest-high hop is Zach Rose. He'll give that little underhand toss to the pitcher, covering, and Tennant quickly, after stepping on first, turns and looks towards third, where Sean Hammond stands, advancing 90 feet on that ground ball.
And a good job over at first by Rose. Didn't charge in on the ball, let it bounce. He realized it was going to get to the dirt and didn't have that in-between hump. A lot of times you see at this high school level where guys are too eager to go get that baseball. So a good job by Rose to wait back on it, and then a great job by Tennant getting over to first to cover.
Now it brings up Devin Moxley, senior shortstop, hitting 9 in the order. Looking for a clutch hit here to bring in a run just 90 feet away. His team trailing 4-1. On the hill, Tennant ready. And here comes the first pitch, and that one missing high for ball 1.
Man, Tennant just can't seem to get that breaking ball to break into the strike zone. Again, he's tried it with Each one of the three batters he's seen, or now four batters he's seen in this bottom of the second, just can't quite get it as this one's fouled off. Moxley fouls it off to make it 1-1.
Yeah, that went in on the hands of Moxley, but he was able to fight it off to the backstop. Moxley is hitting .556 and right now second on the team in runs batted in out of that number 9 spot in the order. 5 runs batted in. Has another duck just 90 feet away. If he could bring him in, pitch missing low and outside, makes it 2-1. Hammond drew the leadoff base on balls, went to second on a third strike that bounced away from the catcher, and then advanced to third on a ground out. And here's a ground ball on the right side of the infield, gloved by the second baseman Anderson with the throw to Rose at first, and Moxley on the 2-1 grounds out 4-3, and it brings the inning to a close. Despite the leadoff walk, Musselman unable to get a run on the board, and through 2 complete, your score is Jefferson 4 and Musselman 1.
When you're hurting, we're here. When things are confusing, and Charlestown Ranson, we're here when you need us.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your 4-state roofing solution. Reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
Half of inning number 3. Once again this year, it's our trivia inning brought to you by the Hagerstown Sons and Haas's Steak and Sea in the Aiken Center on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg. Check them out on Facebook. And remember, for a great meal at a great price, stop by Haas's Steak and Sea, where your family wants to eat. Once again this season, we'll present our third inning trivia, where in the top of the inning we'll give you the question and the station telephone number. First to call and get through with the correct answer will pick up 4 tickets to a Hagerstown Suns minor league baseball game. By the way, they open next to Thursday, April 4th, but it's on the road, so you're not getting tickets to that series. That's at Greensboro for 4, then at Lakewood for 3. The home opener will be on April the 11th. That's a Thursday, a 4-game set against Asheville, followed by a 3-game homestand against Lexington. So we'll give you those tickets as well as $30 in gift certificates to go out to Haas's Steak and Sea. So dinner and baseball, you can't beat that. All right, here we go. Standing in, Taylor Tennant takes strike 1 as we get this top of the third underway. 4-1, Jefferson with the lead. Horner ready, and the pitch fouled into the netting just off to the left side of the first base dugout. That's where Jefferson is positioned, and the count quickly 0-2. Tennant 0 for 1, a bounce out to the pitcher, his first time up. We'll get into our trivia question here in just a moment. Time taken by the batter before Horner can pitch. By the way, for Caleb Horner, would love to get out of this inning with minimal pitches. 56 pitches through 2 innings.
Yeah, 58 now with the 0-2 count to Horowitz.
Here comes that pitch, and that's Tennant at the plate who takes this one down low.
Taylor Tennant. Sorry, looking a couple down the line.
1 ball and 2 strikes now as Tennant will step back in. He swings and bounces this one foul, third base side, holding at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tennant will be followed by Colson Titus and then the Bear, Cullen Horowitz.
Just giving you a preview to who's in the hole.
Now that 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. Again fouled back. Horner having trouble with that out pitch. Can't quite get it by him, can't get him to put one in play. A nice job by Tennant, just wasting a few more pitches, and Horner going deeper into that pitch count. Pitch count rules, we understand, the same this season as they have been the past couple Here's the pitch in on his hands, grounded back up the middle past the pitcher, over towards the second base bag. Devin Moxley, the shortstop, and it goes right under his glove, through his legs into center field, and that'll be an error to allow Tennant to reach.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was Andy Wolf going over. I think just waited too long on that baseball. I think even if he gets that ball cleanly right next to second base, I'm not sure he gets Tennant at first, and just I think was trying to make the play before it got into his glove, lifted it up, and went right underneath him between his legs.
So a runner aboard at first, held on there by Sharp, as Colson Titus to the plate takes ball one. Titus was hit by a pitch, came home to score a run back in that 3-run second inning. Middle infielders playing double play depth. Right-hand batter at the plate takes this one. Looked like right down the middle, but just missed. 2 balls and no strikes.
Can't get consistent on the outside part of the plate so far in this one. Apparently the ball up's a strike. We're still trying to figure out what the lowest point of our strike zone is, and we're trying to figure out how far out or in that strike zone may go off the plate.
Now that 2-0 down the middle for a strike. Titus was taking all the way, and it is 2-1.
And no question about that one, right down the pipe.
Open stance for Titus as he awaits the 2-1 pitch on the inside corner, about knee high. That one taken for strike 2. Now a big pitch coming for Horner. Would like to get the out on this pitch. Tennant with his lead at first. Sharp holds him on after reaching on the leadoff error. And this pitch up and in. Oh, and it grazed the jersey of Titus. That'll be a hit by pitch and put runners at first and second. Wow. Just glazed or glanced off of that jersey, but the jersey part of the body or the player, and that is a hit by pitch. That'll be the second hit by pitch to go along with 3 walks for Horner. The defense committing a couple of errors behind him. It's been a tough go. Musselman down 4-1. Nobody out with 2 on, and the first pitch up and into Horowitz. He gets out of the way of ball 1.
And right now, Horner is not real comfortable on the mound. He's got a couple of pitches to go for strikes in this inning, but just doesn't seem to have the arm angle he wants and just doesn't seem overly confident on the mound right now.
Here comes that 1-0 pitch, and that one off the outside corner. Horowitz able to lay off, and it's 2-0. Horowitz had a single to center his first time up. Big right-hand batter with power. Swings away at this one, sends a towering pop-up down the right field line, drifting over into foul territory. Right fielder coming in and to his left, and Ethan Wilson cannot make the grab as it ends up hitting in behind him. He overran the ball just a little bit as that one was way up in the air. Had a little bit of movement off the bat as well as the breeze that is blowing. It'll drop in as a foul ball, and the count goes to 2-1.
And that's a tough play for Wilson to make. He's in full sprint going into foul territory and is going to have to throw the brakes on at the last minute. The play that should have been made, he was in the realm of the baseball to make the play, but a tough play to make at the high school level.
So Horowitz gets another opportunity. The runners their leads, and here comes the pitch, and it's a sharp hit grounder. Takes a head-high hop to Moxley. The shortstop juggles it, but finally gets it, makes that throw to first, and not in time as Horowitz was able to leg it out down the line. By the time Moxley could corral that baseball, he had no chance to get the lead runner at third or the second runner at second base, so he made his only possible attempt at first and did not get him. That'll be the second error in the inning, and it will put the bases loaded.
And I'm not sure he couldn't have gotten Colson Titus at second. It would have been a lot closer of a play to make at second than it would have at first base.
Infield draws in as Mason Lance comes to the plate, and he takes down low and outside ball 1. Nobody out with the bases loaded, already a 4-1 Jefferson lead. They are threatening for more. Lance had an RBI ground out to the shortstop his first time up. Stepping off the pitching rubber, Horner regathers himself. Checks with the base umpire, and I think he wants his catcher to come out, and that gives us a chance to get into our third inning trivia. Conference on the mound, and we bring you the question and the station telephone number. Let's give you the number first, 304-263-6540. First to call and get through with the correct answer picks up the 4 Hagerstown Suns minor league tickets and the $30 in gift certificates to Hoss's Steak and Sea. Here we go. In 2014, this player won both the National League MVP and the NL Cy Young Award in that same year. Name that player. In 2014, this player was both the NL MVP and the NL Cy Young Award winner. Who was that player? 304-263-6540, 304-263-6540. First to call and get through with the correct answer, picking up our prize package. Well, action back underway, and Lance takes a pitch from Horner in there for a strike. Count now evens 1-1. That break-even pitch on the way, and it is a swinging strike. Lance tried to hold off of that high fastball and could not do it. We had a guess in the press box, and that X comes up and that sound, on the Family Feud, it was not the right one. Here comes that next pitch. Wow, just missing again to Lance, and it is 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And those are close enough. You're not exactly sure where they missed.
And for Lance, a tough pitch to take, but he's got the count now even again. Infield drawn in with the bases loaded. Here comes that 2-2 pitch. Horner ready, and it's a ground ball foul, third base side. Count holding at 2 balls and 2 strikes. First to call and get through. Got to get through. Don't leave a message. You got to talk to Caleb Falero to be able to claim the prize. In 2014, this player won both the NL MVP and the NL Cy Young Award. Both awards in the same year. Name that player. 304-263-6540, 263-6540. Caleb, when we get a winner, shoot one of us a text so we'll know what's going on. Here's a pitch to the plate, down low, scoots by the catcher, but it bounces off the backstop and right back to Bortles, who's able to get it to the pitcher covering, and all the base runners who had gotten that pretty good secondary lead had to go back to their respective bases.
Yeah, good job by Bartles. You got the friendly bounce off the backstop, which helps. I know a lot of different things can happen when that baseball hits the backstop. So luckily that was a favorable bounce for the Applemen. It keeps the runners at first, second, and third. Again, bases juiced here in the top of the third.
3-ball, 2-strike pitch, and it misses high and away. Lance draws the base on balls. He'll pick up his second RBI of the game. As the bases loaded walk will score Tennant from third. Titus now stands at third with Horowitz at second. Lance aboard at first, and that lead now at 5-1. Anybody know an Arthur Hartman? He is the winner of our trivia. He's right here in the press box. That's why I bring it up. And so he knew who the correct answer was. We'll share it with you as we go to the bottom half of inning number 3.
And we promised we did not tell him.
We didn't. Oh, no. We never give away the answer.
He's in the press box, but we don't give away the answer.
Never give away the answer.
In fact, it's fun telling people no because they assume they know it and look over at us and nope.
That one's not it, but he had the correct one. And I noticed he kept it to himself. The wrong answer was the one that quickly got blurted out, but the correct answer was the one kept to himself. That conference on the mound has concluded. Bases still remain loaded with nobody out. A run in to make it 5-1 Jefferson. And Chase Anderson, the number 9 hitter, to the plate. Swings to the first pitch, pops it up towards the third baseman, right on the line. That would be a fair ball. Andy Wolf able to pull that one in for out number 1. Infield fly rule in effect.
It's a big first out of the inning, and big that it wasn't deep enough to get that run in from third. So a big out that makes a double play possible to end the inning and minimize the damage. But we're far from over here. It's been a unique inning for Horner to try to get through, but 1 out now. The first out is big.
Hayden Stang swinging at the first pitch, sends a liner over the head of the shortstop and into left field. Getting that one in quickly is Sean Hammond, but the run will score from third as Titus crosses Horowitz now at third. Lance is at second. That was an RBI base hit for Hayden Stang. His third run batted in on the season. 2 runs in this inning will make it a 6-1 Jefferson lead. Looks like it will spell the end of the evening on the hill for Caleb Horner. Just could not get out of trouble here in this third inning.
And it was a tough game for him from start to finish. Again, threw a lot of pitches, 26 in that first inning, 56 through 2 innings of play. And just the strike zone, a little inconsistent so far in this one, not helping his cause at all, but unfortunately just not his night.
Waiting to see who the new pitcher will be. Jared Jenkins, we are told, is the one who will take over on the mound as he gets in his warm-up tosses. Let's take a 60-second break. We will return to Applemen Park, where we are in the top half of inning number 3. 1 out, the bases loaded, a couple of runs already in the inning, and Jefferson leading Musselman 6-1.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
WU Medicine has planted itself here, and they're the first university that I've found who wants to take ownership of this population, of Western Maryland, Southern Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and the good people of West Virginia. And it's really refreshing to see.
I was able to do things that the patients were going away for, which is good for the patients, and it's good for us because we have more resources. It certainly has helped take us to another level.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Third base, number 37, Caleb Horner.
And we welcome you back in once again here to Applemen Park. Enjoying a little of the pitching change music in the background as we jot down some of the changes. Looks like Caleb Horner, who was on the mound, is going over to third base, while the third baseman Andy Wolf has made his way out to right field. That means Ethan Wilson may very well be out of the game now as Jared Jenkins comes in, as Jenkins will take that spot in the order as Jenkins takes over on the mound. And the first pitch of the at-bat to Corey Daly works down low and away, and that is ball 1. So Daly stands in. Horner going to go 2 1/3 innings in this one, as the next pitch misses for ball 2 to Daly. He has singled. He has drawn a base on balls. It's been on twice. Bases loaded. No place to put him here as this pitch works down low, and that's 3 balls and no strikes. Jenkins, the right-hander, from the windup with the bases loaded, finds the outside corner with this pitch. Daly clearly taking all the way, and it is 3 balls and a strike. Jenkins ready.
Get your first work of the year on the mound. Bases juiced and only 1 out.
Off-speed pitch snaps down in there for a called strike 3. That one froze Corey Daly in the right-hand batter's box for the 2nd out of the inning.
And that was a towering breaking ball that started about 6 inches above the head of the batter Daly and broke down right over the heart of the plate.
And yeah, the freshman Jared Jenkins getting the job done with that pitch. He'll now go to work on Stevie Lee, missing down and in for ball 1. Nice job, Ben Bartles, blocking that one. Horner in his 2 1/3 innings, giving up just 3 hits, the 6 runs scoring, but not all his responsibility, as the pitch in on the hands of Lee fouled out of play along the third base side. Count now at 1 ball and 1 strike. It would be 4 walks and 2 hit batters and 1 strikeout for Caleb Horner in his 2 1/3 innings on the hill. Swinging, sending one the other way. A diving attempt by the left fielder. Hammond cannot get it. It goes beyond his reach, bounces behind him, and that will be a hit to bring home a couple for Stevie Lee. In fact, he will clear the bases. Horowitz able to score from third. Lance able to score from second. And Stang all the way around from first. 3 more runs are in, and it is a 9-1 Jefferson lead, plating 5 here in this top of the third.
And it was a heck of an effort out in left field by Hammond, but unfortunately just about a step too slow. Make that wolf out in left field. Sorry, I forgot that we hadn't wrote that down, the changes we made with the pitching change.
So a runner at second base as Lee will get credit with a double and the 3 RBI. And now Zach Rose to the plate, and the pitch to him is a strike. Went the other way with that one. And a long run for the left fielder, and Hammond with a diving attempt just couldn't get to it. And then once it bounced by him, well, off to the races for the base runners. Rose watches this one down low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. How about Lee had 4 runs batted in prior to that hit, where he collects 3 more, so 7 RBI on the season. Rose swinging through the 1-1, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Not often you can almost double your RBI production with 1 swing of the bat.
Well, and for Caleb Horner now, all of those runs going against his count. Again, not all his responsibility, with some errors and miscues behind him. Swinging away, Rose sends one on a line over the head of the shortstop. It bounces in front of Hammond. He comes up with it, hitting his cutoff man. Here comes that relay throw to the plate. Not in time. The throw out to second, and not in time either, as the tag attempt by the middle infielder was up high, just kind of casually threw the glove out there and did not really try to make a tag down low at the bag, and the batter is safe there. Wow. So another run scores as Lee is able to cross on the RBI base hit from Rose. He'll collect his 2nd run batted in on the season, and he'll be in at second base, and that will make it now a 10-1 Jefferson advantage. And now we get to mark out the 4th inning in our scorebook, make it a number 3, because the 10th man to bat in this inning is going to be Taylor Tennant, and he takes ball 1. Not sure I understand that last tag attempt out at second base. Looked like they had a chance to get him on that throw from Bartles. As the throw to the plate was not going to get the runner there, they had a chance to get out of the inning. And the pitch misses outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
This game's gotten out of hand quick for the Applemen, just a couple hits. And again, it was a rough way to start the inning, as that ball high and outside, but called strike number 1 on Taylor Tennant, 2-1. But it's an inning that got away from him quick, didn't start great, early bases loaded opportunity, and Jefferson's taken advantage of the opportunity.
Absolutely. And they have been known for that through the years. Swinging away at the 2-1, Tennant pops it foul out of play, first base side. Now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now this offense going to have to try to mount a rally against arguably the ace of the staff right now for this Jefferson team. Taylor Tennant had a strong season last year and has gotten off to a good start this year already, 2-0. Jenkins looking towards the runner at second. Pitches to the plate. That one up and away. 3-2. Count has gone full. We've seen a number of full counts. Some base on balls, hit by pitches. Some errors. Certainly has not been a clean game for Musselman. Tennant will take, and that is a ball. Ball 4. That one just down low and away. Now Coach Lowry out of the dugout off the first base side, out of the coach's box down the third base line, yelling over towards the dugout off the first base side, and he wants somebody to go get loose in the bullpen down the line.
No, it's going to be a courtesy runner, I believe, because Tennant is the pitcher with 2 outs here.
Tennant to go down and loose.
Yeah, it's been a while since he's been on the mound.
That's true.
I was getting ready to say that before you talked about Coach Lowry looking for the courtesy runner, but yeah, it's been a few minutes since Tennant was on the mound, and the temperature only getting colder for that right arm. So it'll be interesting to see what he comes out looking like.
So it's Michael Jeffries who will serve as the runner, and Tennant will head down the line to get in a couple of tosses. It will bring to the plate Colson Titus, who's been hit by a pitch each of his first 2 times up. He takes this one down low. Bartles able to reach behind him and grab that one quickly as it was in the dirt and ready to bounce away from him, and the runners will have to hold. Rose at second, Tennant at first.
And Titus not afraid to step into it again. This first hit by pitch was in the crown of the helmet.
Here's a pitch on the outside corner as the count evens 1-1. Boy, it looks so promising for Jenkins when he got that big strikeout of Daly for the second out of the inning. But then Lee delivers the 3 RBI double. Rose the RBI single. A base on balls, 2 on, and at the plate, Titus takes down low, 2 balls and 1 strike. The 11th batter to come to the plate in this Jefferson half of the third. Here's the pitch, sharply hit on a bounce, backhanded by the shortstop. Moxley has it. He'll get it to Murphy at second. They'll get the force out of Tennant. It goes 6-4, and it brings the inning to a close. But, boy, the damage done in the frame as they are able to put 6 runs on the board on just 3 hits. And as we go to the bottom of the third, it's now Jefferson 10 and Musselman 1.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the horsemen.
If you hang the WVU Medicine sign, certainly has helped take us to another level.
He literally saved my life. It's just mind-boggling to me that he was able to do what he did.
We're able to affect much more of a difference for our patients with these resources.
Having people treated locally enhances their overall care.
They treat you great, and they're down to earth in the West Virginia way that all West Virginians treat each other.
So we move to the bottom half of inning number 3, and now for Musselman, a half inning where they'd like to get some of these runs back after giving up 3 runs in the second and 6 more in the third inning, now trailing 10-1, and they'll have to do it against Taylor Tennant, who after giving up a run on 3 hits in that first inning, settled down after a leadoff walk in the second and retired the next 3 batters, a strikeout and a pair of groundouts. And we're back to the top of the order, and Blake Hartman to start this bottom of the third inning.
And again, interested to see how Tennant looks sharpness-wise. He was not necessarily on the bench, got an at-bat in that in the top half of the inning. Actually got 2 at-bats in the top half of the inning, so was able to move around a little bit, but the arm didn't move around an awful lot, so we'll see what that accuracy looks like. As again, it's getting colder and colder as the sun is set here at Applemen Park.
Well, Hartman had a single down the right field line his first time up, swings and bounces this one foul at the feet of the catcher, Colson Titus. It is 0-1, and for Hartman, 5 for 5 on the season. Was 4 for 4 coming in, got a hit in that first at bat, trying to keep the string alive. Swings and bounces this one in the hole between third and short and out into left field. It's a base hit, and there you go. He's done it again.
Not too bad. I think if you told him he was going to start the season 6 for 6, he'd take that. I think anybody would take starting the season 6 for 6.
Absolutely. So it brings to the plate Caleb Horner, who, by the way, moved to shortstop, not to third in the last half inning. So Horner, who was the starting pitcher, and giving up the 9 runs, but not all his responsibility on 3 hits through 2 1/3 innings. Now playing defensively at short. He struck out 1, walked 4, and hit a couple, and he takes strike 1. Horner, a single his first time up on that line drive right back through the box. Took the glove off the pitcher. Here bounces it foul over towards the on-deck circle for Musselman along the third base side. Count at 0-2. See what we can do to get you to the answer to our trivia question here in this bottom of the third. Rose holds that runner on at first. Hartman with his lead. likely not going anywhere right now, down 10-1. Here's a pitch high and outside. 1-2 to Horner.
Tennant working pretty efficiently through the first 2 innings of his day. 32 pitches coming into the bottom half of inning number 3.
And the 1-2 pitch, beautiful pitch, snapping in across the plate. Horner can just turn and go back to the dugout, taking strike 3.
And that is one thing that we hadn't seen from Tennant yet, was him have that breaking ball, a break in and whip just enough to catch the inside part of the plate on a right-handed batter, or the inside part of the strike zone rather, and we see that now, his first K of the day on that breaking ball that he finally got to break.
So it brings up Ethan Wilson, number 3 spot in the order. Started in right, we understand now moving over to left field in that last half inning with the pitching and defensive changes. And there's that breaking pitch, that curveball again, and Wilson takes strike 1. Wilson 0 for 1, bounced out to third, his first time up. 1 on, 1 out. Bottom of the third, a 10-1 Jefferson lead. Fastball stays high here. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Let's get to the trivia question as John Lowry heads out to the pitcher's mound, the Jefferson coach wanting to bring the infield together for conversation. All right, in 2014, this player won both the NL MVP and the NL Cy Young Award, and the answer is Arthur Hartman. Clayton Kershaw. He went 21-3 with a 1.77 ERA, 198 and a third innings pitched, 239 strikeouts to just 31 walks, 55 earned runs and 62 total runs allowed. Not a bad year. He beat out Johnny Cueto of the Cincinnati Reds. Listen to these numbers for Cueto. You talk about decision-making for those in MLB who make these choices. He went 20-9 with a 2.25 ERA. He worked 243 and 2/3 innings, far more innings than Kershaw. 242 strikeouts, so a couple more strikeouts, but he did issue almost double the walks, 65 base on balls. He gave up 61 earned runs, 69 total runs. So Cueto right there pushing Clayton Kershaw, who won that Cy Young Award. Well, action back underway, and the first pitch to Ethan Wilson for a strike, and that moves the count to a ball and 2 strikes.
Do you struggle with pitchers winning an MVP?
Let's talk about that as we tell you who he beat out for that award. Now that 1-2 delivery, swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt, first base occupied, and so Wilson, who started down the line, will turn and head back to the dugout. 2 outs in the inning, back-to-back strikeouts, 3 in the ball game for Taylor Tennant. The runner holding at first is Blake Hartman as Ben Bartles makes his way to the plate. For the NL MVP award, he beat out Giancarlo Stanton of the Miami Marlins. He had a .288 batting average with a .395 on-base percentage and a .555 slugging percentage. Hit 37 homers, had 105 runs batted in, 155 hits, 94 base on balls, but when he didn't hit them out, he didn't hit them at all. 170 strikeouts. First pitch to Bartles, down low and outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Bartles had an RBI single up the middle his first time up. So Kershaw beat out Stanton and beat out Cueto to win both of those awards. So the 1-0 on the way, and that one is in there for a strike. 1-1, and yes, I do have trouble with pitchers. I don't think the MVP goes to a pitcher. I think it goes to an everyday player.
Yeah, I was going to say,
the Cy Young Award is what a pitcher gets.
I'm with you on that one. It's hard to give it to somebody who plays every 5th or 6th day.
Here's that 1-1 delivery. Good movement on the pitch by Tennant. Had Bartles kind of moving around in the batter's box, but it stayed high. Now at 2 balls and 1 strike. So congratulations to Arthur Hartman, the winner of the tickets and gift certificates. Our 3rd inning trivia brought to you by the Hagerstown Sun and Haas's Steak and Sea on Edwin Miller Boulevard. 2-1 pitch outside. Now 3 balls and a strike. Titus trying to pull that one out of the glove, looking to throw behind the runner down there at first, and he dropped it. Didn't make the throw, which is probably good. I'm sure Coach Lowry would not have wanted to see that throw.
Yeah, no reason to extend the base runners at this point in the game with the 10-1 lead.
Here comes the 3-1 pitch, a swing and a miss at a high fastball.
Man, Bartles was trying to send that over the fence. Almost swung out of his shoes on that when his head ended up almost looking directly back at the dugout down the third base line. He wanted every bit of that baseball.
And now a payoff pitch due. First baseman Rose playing in behind the runner. Hartman with his lead. There he goes. Pitch to the plate. Fastball misses high. Bartles draws the base on balls. First walk that he has drawn this season. Puts runners at first and second with 2 outs. Here comes Trevor Sharp.
Number 35, Trevor.
Let's see if Musselman can come up with that clutch base hit. They left a runner stranded at third with 2 outs in that second inning. See if they can get a big clutch hit here with a run in scoring position and down 10-1. You're not going to get it all back at once, but you got to try to start chipping away at that deficit with a couple of runs here. Sharp with a ground out 6-4, a fielder's choice that ended that first inning. He takes low and outside. That's ball 1.
Again, Sharp hitting the ball pretty well early in this season, a .444 batting average coming into this one. He's only driven in 2, looking for number 3 at second right now as he grounds it to second base. The ball's bobbled at second by Chase Anderson. We're not going to have the bases loaded. Chase Anderson, a routine ground ball that he just let eat him up.
Yeah, he didn't really go after that baseball, but instead kind of set back, let it come to him, caught that in-between hop and could not handle it as it hit the heel of the glove and then dropped to the ground. So Hartman is at third, Bartles at second, Sharp is at first, reaching on the E4, bases loaded with 2 outs. And that's going to bring up Jared Jenkins, who moved into the number 6 spot for Sean Hammond in that pitching change in the top of the third. First pitch in there for a strike. So Jenkins at the plate, a left-hand batter. Awaits the pitch from the right-hander Tennant, who goes from the windup now with the bases loaded. He just misses down low with this one, and it's 1-1.
And this is an opportunity if you're Jenkins. Came in on the mound and got a strikeout, which is a huge strikeout when he came in. Let's see if his first step back can have that same kind of magic as he can try to find one into the outfield.
Well, he bounces this one again towards the second baseman. Anderson plays this one on the chest-high hop and makes that little underhand shovel to Gonzalez at second. That'll get the force out of Sharp and will bring the inning to a close. That out recorded 4-6, and Musselman will leave the bases loaded. They did not score despite getting a hit, a walk, and an error. They'll strand the bases loaded, and as we go to inning number 4, your score remains Jefferson 10 and Musselman 1.
When you're hurting, we're here. When things are confusing, we're here. Inwood and Charlestown Ranson, we're here when you need us.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your 4-state roofing solution. Reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
All right, we go to the top half of inning number 4. Jefferson with a 10-1 lead, trying to put more pressure on these Musselman Applemen to maybe get this one done early. Remember the 10-run mercy rule that would kick in after the Musselman at bat in the bottom of the 5th inning, and so this is an important half inning for these Applemen. Let's see what Jared Jenkins can get done on the mound as the freshman back out there to work after coming in relief of Caleb Horner in the top of the 3rd. With our play-by-play heading through the next couple of innings, we'll turn it over to Matt Crawford.
Jared Jenkins coming back out on the mound, came in relief last inning, got a couple of big outs, including that first strikeout coming out of the bullpen, hoping to have some of that magic, as what people might call one of those ephus pitches, one of these slow arcing gravitational curveballs that got the strikeout. He's hoping for some of that magic, and like you said, a big inning here for the Applemen on the mound and on the field, and an equally big inning if you're the Jefferson Cougars at the plate. Coming up first will be Cullen Horwitz. The Bear will lead it off for the Cougars in 2 at-bats. Today he's reached on an error and a single, has scored both times he has gotten on. Top of the 4th here, 10-1, the lead for Jefferson. First pitch from Jenkins, outside for ball 1.
Hey, you love the production out of the bottom of the order. The 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 hitters have produced 2, 4, 6, 7 of the runs that are on the scoreboard right now.
Horowitz rips one into left field, bounces on the dirt, then goes into the outfield for a base hit. He's on for the 3rd time today. His 2nd hit of this ball game, and early trouble for the Applemen.
I've been waiting to see, how his hitting is here as a sophomore. Remember last year as a freshman, we saw him play a lot defensively at third base, but at times was DH'd for as he, as a young man, as a freshman, struggled a little bit against that more junior-senior laden pitching that he would face this year. Has really come out swinging the bat, a couple of home runs on the season and a couple of hits here in this one.
Looks like Michael Jeffries coming in to pinch hit for Mason Lance here in the top of the 4th. Jeffries coming in as a senior, pitcher outfielder. Get you some stats on him as this at-bat goes on. He's going to step in with a runner on. That's the first pitch to Jeffries. Breaking ball in there for strike 1.
Like that breaking ball from Jenkins. He has really shown good control with it, kind of coming straight over the top. It's like that ball that rolls across the table and then drops off at the end.
Horowitz a couple-step lead, nothing to worry about at first base. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Jeffries going to ground it to the right side. Hauled in over to first base for out number 1. Good job by Murphy bringing that in. A tough play, working back towards first base. He does get the out, but Horowitz does move up to second base.
Yeah, Murphy's initial step is towards second base as he wants to get over there to cover on that swing, but then has to retreat and ultimately end up going a long way to his left to get to that one, but didn't panic, fielded cleanly, and made a good throw to Sharp at first to get the out.
Looking at number 44 coming to the plate now as he swings and misses for strike 1. Looks like Isaiah Morris, the sophomore, will pinch hit for Chase Anderson. So Coach Lowry getting some bench players into this one. A big roster that includes a lot of younger players. Here's the 0-1 breaking ball in there for strike 2, 0-2 on Morris.
As we talked with Coach Lowry Sr. before this game, we asked him about, they were a young team last year, and yet here they are again with a good bit of youth, and he likes what he's seeing from these young players.
0-2 pitch on the outside corner, strike 3 looking, and Morris down on 3 pitches, not the at-bat he wanted to prove coming off the bench.
Couple of Ks now for Jenkins, and he's getting what he wants in this inning and just what head coach Josh Hartman wants in this inning, despite giving up that leadoff base hit. That runner's at second with 2 outs and a chance now for Jenkins to get out of the inning without any damage.
The left-handed Hayden Stang with his 4th plate appearance on the day lets that one go low for ball 1.
Yeah, 4th plate appearance. We're in the top of the 4th inning.
He's got a walk, a ground out, and a single. An RBI single make that. He's also scored twice. 2 of the 10 runs for the Cougars. Here's the 1-0 pitch, a big swing and miss. Ag did get a piece of the bat, fouled off. So Horowitz will have to stay at second base as he was eyeing moving up to third. So a 1-1 count now on Hayden Stang.
We've seen some healthy cuts in this one, haven't we?
We have. We've seen some hardy cuts. And Bortles gave one that he wanted to just absolutely destroy to left field in the last half inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch again, ticked, but Bartles able to bring it in for strike number 2. Tipped off the bat of Hayden Stang. 1-2 the count now here, and a big pitch for Jenkins. Can get out of this inning without giving up a run, which would be the first of the game for the Applemen. As here's the 1-2 pitch, a ground ball to the right side, brought in by the first baseman, Trevor Sharp. He will touch base, 3 unassisted, and we will go to the bottom of the 4th. No runs on 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 1 runner left on here in the top of the 4th inning. It is still 10-1 Jefferson. We'll be right back going to the bottom of the 4th on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
The level of care that I got at WVU Medicine was top-notch.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
Is really an integration, looking at a clinical care network looking at the good people who can help push the envelope and raise the bar for delivering a quality healthcare product.
To have my life back is absolutely a blessing. I am beyond thankful for WU Medicine. I absolutely 100% have my life back.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Welcome back into the bottom of the 4th inning. Taylor Tennant coming back after his 4th inning of work. He's done pretty well in the day so far. 53 pitches going into the bottom of the 4th inning. 3 strikeouts and has only given up 4 hits. It was a good defensive inning for Musselman in the top of that 4th inning, but they're going to need some productivity. Haven't scored since the bottom of that 1st inning. They're going to need to figure out a way to get some runs across as Jefferson only 1 run away and a few outs away from making this a mercy rule ball game.
Well, and let's see if that Applemen offense can get something going. They've stranded 5 runners through their first 3 at-bats and have left 3 of those in scoring position as they left a runner at 3rd in the 2nd inning and left the bases loaded in the 3rd inning. They've got to find a way to come up with that clutch hit, but certainly not an easy task against the talented Tennant on the hill.
Leading off for the Applemen, the bottom of the 4th.
Justin Murphy will be the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the 4th for the Applemen. He is a strikeout swinging on his 1 at-bat today so far.
First time this season he has struck out. Came in with 4 hits and 7 at-bats. Had not walked or struck out.
Here's the first pitch. High and inside for ball 1. As Murphy has to lean out of the way of that one. Come right at his ear hole.
We've got Tennant up around 53 pitches, 31 strikes through 3 innings.
Bottom of the 4th inning here at Applemen Park. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Tennant in there for strike 1. Knotted up at 1-1. Murphy came in a .571 batter on the season. Again, the 6th game of the year for the Jefferson Cougars. Here's the 1-1. Tennant misses high. As Colson Titus has to stand up, catches that one right in the chest like he's playing catch from 60 feet 6 inches away.
There's some pop on that fastball, but clearly Tennant not getting on top of it.
Tennant ready for the 2-1. He delivers, fouled off by Murphy, and we'll have it knotted up at 2-2.
Came right back to that fastball again.
He does have some zip on that fastball, no doubt about it. And we saw last inning him start to get that curveball working a little bit, breaking where he wanted it, so it would not surprise me if he went with the hook here. Here's the 2-2 pitch. There's that hook. It's a ground ball to the left side. Horowitz dives for it, can't make the play, goes off his glove and into left field. Murphy will have to hold at first. A great effort by Horowitz at 3rd, but just couldn't bring it in. I think we're going to call that a hard base hit that went off a diving Cullen Horowitz on the left side of the infield.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Infield base hit. Horowitz doing what he's supposed to do as a third baseman, going to his left, get to any ball that he can. He made the dive. Gonzalez behind him, moving deep into the hole. Looked like he may have had a chance to get to that one, but when it glanced off the glove of Horowitz, it rolled back over to the vacated shortstop position, and there was no play.
Wolf now steps in and takes ball 1 high and outside. A snap throw down from Titus. But getting back in was Murphy. Rose does apply the tag, but too little too late. A ground out to first base was Andy Wolf's result in his first at-bat back in the 2nd inning. Was out number 2 back in the 2nd. He's ahead in the count 1-0 here in the bottom of the 4th. Here's that 1-0 pitch outside. It's another staff throw down, and I believe they got him. No, they're going to say Murphy gets back in safe. I thought the ball beat him there. I guess Rose just a second late on the tag. Looked like Murphy dove right back into the tag.
Boy, a very close play. Very good throw right on top of the bag.
Titus not afraid to whip it down there. We've seen that a couple times so far in this one. 2-0 pitch fouled off by Wolf behind the plate. Now the count at 2-1 as Murphy.
It's not Titus behind the plate.
We got a A catcher change.
Is that 2-9?
Behind the plate. Looks like Lance now behind the plate.
Okay.
So some defensive adjustments now as Mason Lance goes from right field now to behind the plate. There's that 2-1 pitch. Misses inside. Now the count at 3-1. A hitter's count now for Andy Wolf. Again, Mason Lance coming from right field.
No. That's McCartney. That's a 3-9,
Okay.
not a 2-9. Yeah,
They're
hard to see around the catcher's gear whether that's a 2 or not, but that's a 3-9, so McCartney's come in to catch.
Pop fly on the 3-1 going into shallow left field, and running in and making the catch was Hayden Stang. A couple players there that could have made it. Stevie Lee was right there. Gonzalez was right there, but Hayden Stang flying in from left field for out number 1.
Very good communication. Stang was clearly hollering the whole way, and at the last second, Stevie Lee, the center fielder, got out of the way as it looked for a brief moment like we were about to have a pretty serious collision.
One out here in the bottom of the 4th. One runner on at first. That is Justin Murphy. And Devin Moxley now steps into that right-handed batter's box. First pitch misses low, bounces right in front of the plate. McCartney gets it. Thinks about firing it down to second base as Gonzalez is waiting for it. He'll hold on to it. Doesn't want to give Murphy a chance to advance to third in a game that Jefferson ahead by a good margin at 10-1.
Yeah, good decision. No need to risk throwing that one away. You let him take that base and come back and try to get Moxley.
So Tennant a little scattered this inning. Not quite the precision we've seen so far in this one. Here's the 1-0, misses that one high, so 2-0 now, the count on Devin Moxley. Moxley's first plate appearance was a ground out to the second baseman for the third out of the second inning. He's got a duck on the pond now. Here's the 2-0 pitch on the outside corner, low and outside for strike 1. Moxley looking for RBI number 6 on the year. He has 5 coming into the ball game today with a .556 batting average, one of the better hitters on this Applemen team. Here's that 2-1 fouled off behind our press box, right behind home plate here at Applemen Field, and the count knotted up at 2.
This is a big at-bat right now for Tennant when you consider who's in the on-deck circle. Blake Hartman, a guy that nobody's gotten out this season. So their hottest hitter due next.
2-2 pitch awaiting is Moxley, and Tennant will step and turn back to second base, work Murphy back to second. No contest, just a quick leg up and turn.
Well, Gonzalez, the shortstop, was going back to the bag just about the same time as the runner Murphy.
Here comes a 2-2 from Tennant, a breaking ball. That breaks too far outside, misses it off the outside of the plate, and the count has run full at 3-2.
Again, a couple of base on balls for Tennant. Don't want to walk him here.
Again, a huge at-bat for the Applemen. If you could get some runners on for Blake Hartman, again, has not been put out yet this year. Here's the payoff pitch. Misses down low. And ball number 4. And Devin Moxley will reach on a base on balls. A good at-bat for Moxley. And coming to the plate is the most dangerous hitter on this Musselman lineup, Blake Hartman. Again, 7 for 7 on the season so far.
He might be the most dangerous hitter on the planet right now.
If he can keep this up, he will be.
6 for 6.
Did 6 for 6? I thought it was 7 for 7.
He was 4 for 4. He's 2 for 2 now.
Okay, make that 6 for 6 as he takes the first pitch low in the dirt for ball 1.
Maybe you were prognosticating.
Either that or I'm going to give him the ultimate broadcaster's jinx, which you don't believe in.
I don't.
Here's the 1-0 from Tennant, outside for strike 1. Paints the outside corner in a good place to live if he can pay the mortgage.
Hartman scored the only run for Musselman after reaching on that leadoff single back in the first.
Here's the 1-1 outside, and Hartman will ground back to Tennant, who will flip back to Gonzalez at shortstop at second. Tries for the double play, will not get it. A quick throw back. Zach Rose goes over to Horwitz at third, works Murphy back. So almost a double play to get out of the inning, but Tennant, I think, just a little too slow making that turn back to Gonzalez at second. So a fielder's choice, if you will, and Musselman will have runners at the corners.
Yeah, Moxley erased as it goes 1-6, 2 outs in the inning, and another situation where the Musselman Applemen have a chance, but they've got to come up with a clutch 2-out base hit.
Coming to the plate now will be Caleb Horner, the man who got the start on the mound for Musselman in this one, as McCartney went out to have a conversation with Tennant, as he now barks out and gives the signals for the first and third defense.
Yeah, looking over to the dugout off the first base side, one of the assistant coaches going through a little bit of signs to direct to McCartney to then give to the infield with the runners at the corner situation.
Horner's third at bat. He singled back in the first and a strikeout back in the third. Swing and a miss on the first pitch of this at bat here in the bottom of the fourth. Again, runners at first and third, 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth inning. 10-1, the Jefferson Cougar advantage.
Well, we've got a pitcher beginning to stretch a little bit, work with the bands along the fencing in the bullpen area down the right field line, and he'll get ready to throw a few. So some precautionary measures, and we'll see. This may be the last inning on the mound for Tennant, no matter how this one plays out.
That pitch from Tennant inside. Horner takes for ball 1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball inside corner for strike 2. A great breaking ball from Taylor Tennant. Hasn't been consistent all day, but when it works, it is deadly.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And the biggest pitch of the game so far for this Musselman Applemen team. 2 outs, bottom of the fourth. A 10-1 game. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Tennant. Outside corner, strike 3 looking. Has back-to-back strikeouts in Horner's day, back-to-back strikeouts looking in his last 2 plate appearances, and a costly strikeout there as he had a run just 90 feet away, but no runs in this inning on 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. Make that just 1 strikeout for Taylor Tennant here in the bottom of the fourth. We'll go to the top of the fifth when we come back. 10-1, the Jefferson Cougar advantage from Applemen Park. This is Talk Radio WRNR Martinsburg, TV 10, and WRNR TV on YouTube.
The level of care that I got at WVU Medicine was top-notch.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
Is really an integration, looking at a clinical care network, looking at the good people who can help push the envelope and raise the bar for delivering a quality healthcare product.
To have my life back is absolutely a blessing. I am beyond thankful for WVU Medicine. I absolutely 100% have my life back.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Nick Reeves, our new pitcher for the Musselman Applemen, as Jared Jenkins. Some quality work coming in for Musselman out of the bullpen. Again, the freshman doing just fine in relief appearance. 10-1 here in the top of the 5th inning, and a big inning for both teams. But if Jefferson can scrape a run or 2, they just need 1, but they can scrape a couple in this inning and then get 3 outs in the bottom of the 5th. This would be a mercy rule victory for their 5th of the year. We are far away from that, as again, just a 10-1 lead at the moment for the Cougars.
Well, nice job by Jared Jenkins. You mentioned the freshman gives up just a run on 3 hits in an inning and 2/3. Struck out a pair and walked 1. Now it's into the hands of Reeves to see what he can do to keep the deficit where it is and give this offense another opportunity.
Looking at some of these stats on Reeves. Looks like he's only 1 inning pitched so far in this season, but 3 strikeouts. So a strikeout man has not given up any hits, any runs, and has a 0-0, whole lot of zeros, ERA again. Faced 3 batters, struck all 3 of them out. So a strikeout machine so far. He's the pitching version of what we see, or what we've seen from Blake Hartman so far this year, except for that last at bat where the broadcaster's jinx came in and he grounded out.
Camion Gonzalez is going to get a chance to swing the bat to get this 5th inning underway. He had been DH'd for, but Corey Daly in that DH spot coming to the plate, and so Gonzalez getting a chance to swing the bat.
Camian Gonzalez coming in to this game. Does not have a hit on the season, but just one at-bat on this season, so a hit could spike that average right up to 500 as he will go down and have a quick chat with John Lowry Sr., giving him but imagine how many times Lowry's walked down that third base line to talk to a batter.
Well, this is the 47th year, and you're talking a record of 1,309 wins, 344 losses, and 3 ties. So you're talking over 1,650 games. A
lot.
He knows his way around.
I was going to say, I don't think it's too foreign to him. Gonzalez takes strike one. So Reeves' first pitch of his outing today on the outside corner for strike one. Reeves working quickly right back in to that windup. Here's the 0-1 low, ball one. So we have a batter that's only got one at-bat this year, a pitcher who's only seen 1 inning of work this year. So not a whole lot of experience in that 60 feet 6 inches right now between home plate and that pitcher's mound.
That's the early part of the season.
The 1-1 misses outside. Gonzalez now ahead in the count 2-1. 10-1 here in the top of the 5th inning. Here at Applemen Park, Jefferson ahead of the Musselman Applemen. Here's the 2-1. As Gonzalez lifts one to center field, camping underneath of it is Hartman, and he will bring it down for out number 1.
Yeah, Hartman got a good read on that one off the bat, ranging over to his right, easily got there to make the grab. So a good start for Reeves.
Stevie Lee now will come to the left-handed batter's box. He has a double, an RBI double, a 3 RBI double his last at-bat. That cleared the bases. Also reached on a base on balls. Earlier she lifts this one into center field again. Hartman camping under it, and he will grab that for out number 2. So one pitch gets out number 2, and quick work right now for Nick Reeves, and a much-needed quick inning for this Appleman team. It's been hard to come by for Musselman in this one.
5 pitches, 2 outs, just the way you draw it up.
Zach Rose coming to the plate. Pitch number 1 from Reeves misses inside. Rose ahead in the count now 1-0.
Tough matchup here, that lefty matchup.
Here's the 1-0 as Rose lifts that to center field, and that ball's hit deep. Hartman working back, dives for it, and makes the catch. What a catch. Blake Hartman in center field was playing relatively shallow. Zach Rose put a charge into one straight away center, and twisting his body a couple different times, Blake Hartman stretches out and makes the acrobatic catch for out number 3, and a great inning for Nick Reeves in relief, and a great inning for Blake Hartman, making all 3 of the outs in that inning, and again closing it out with an acrobatic catch for out number 3. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. Jefferson leads 10-1. This is WRNR and TB10 in high school baseball.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 South in Chambersburg.
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
One here in the bottom of the 5th inning. A great outing so far for Nick Reeves coming in relief, and what an inning for Blake Hartman. All 3 outs coming to his glove, and the acrobatic third out. Again, a relatively shallow hit ball from, or a relatively playing shallow was Blake Hartman. A charge put into a baseball from Zach Rose, and Hartman made a phenomenal play in center field, a diving catch. I think if we have the opportunity, that's a Sports Center a top 10 play right there.
Certainly a TV 10 top 10.
Absolutely. Coming into the bottom of the fifth, Taylor Tennant still on the mound for Jefferson. His first pitch misses inside to Ethan Wilson. Wilson heading the count now 1-0. 1 ball. No strike pitch to Ethan Wilson. He rips one into left field for a leadoff base hit. So an early base runner for the Applemen, and much needed, as have not given up in this game.
Now there's action in the bullpen down that right field line. We saw a little action beginning in the last half inning that Musselman was up, and looking can't quite get the number off the back of that Jefferson gray uniform. Ben Bartles.
Bartles is the player now. Takes strike one on the outside corner.
He's been on base each time he's been up. An RBI single his first time up, a walk his last time up.
Not sure how short of a leash Tennant is going to have here in the bottom of the fifth, as the 0-1 is lifted into right field, camping underneath it, and the catch made in right field by Mason Lance.
Yep, that did look to be Lance as he turns and heads back into position. Played that one nicely.
The hesitation, some pinch hitters back in 2 innings ago. So making sure that's Lance out in right field. It is still Mason Lance out in right field. So good job camping under it for Lance, and out number 1. Again, that was Bartles lifting that ball to right field. That'll be Trevor Sharp stepping to the plate. Runner on first base is Ethan Wilson. He got on with the leadoff single. Here's the first pitch outside. Good job by McCartney with the backhanded stab, keeping that from rolling back to the backstop.
I would have that right around 82 pitches now for Tennant. So as you mentioned, not sure of the length of that leash. I think it's a very short one in this time frame of the game.
Here's the 1-0 to Sharp. Bounces that one, goes off of Tennant's glove. Tennant's going to have to make a great play. Overthrows the first baseman, Zach Rose, and that ball's going to go back to the fences. Moving to third base is Ethan Wilson. Not sure Trevor Sharp realized the ball got by. He just stayed at first base. Probably could have got to second. By the way, Rose had to run after that ball at first base. It was a great effort by Tennant after it went off his glove, but just couldn't make the play at first base. Had to rush it. So now runners at the corners here for the Applemen. Just one out here in the bottom of the fifth.
Yeah, rushed it to a point where he held that ball too long on that throw and put it right down into the dirt. And with the runner coming in, just too tough a play for Rose to try to avoid the runner, reach out, and pull that one in. So the error puts runners at the corners, and another golden opportunity for this Musselman team. They've left 7 on base so far.
Coming to the plate now for the Applemen will be pitcher Nick Reeves, taking spot of Sean Hammond and Jared Jenkins. So his first at-bat of the day. Swing, and the ball is going to stay foul down the first base line. Runners were on the move. The ball will go foul, and count will be knotted up at 1. Looking at some stats for Nick Reeves hitting the baseball this season so far. 1 hit in 7 at-bats. That's good enough for a 143 average on the season. 1-1 the count. 1 out here in the bottom of the fifth. Runners at the corners. Here's Tennant's pitch to Reeves. That one missed inside. 2-1 the count now on Reeves. Again, not sure how much that one missed by. It must have missed just a little bit off the inside part of the strike zone. Now the 2-1 lifted over the fence and the backstop behind our vantage point. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Reeves. Tennant walks around the mound trying to collect himself. Again, a good outing for Tennant so far in this one. Just 1 run to his credit, but threatening now. Foul ball as Reeves fights off the 2-2 pitch, and he lives to see another one. Again, run number 2 just 90 feet away as Ethan Wilson stands on third base. At first base, reaching on the air, is Trevor Sharp.
Well, Tennant has given up 5 hits, 3 walks. There's been 1 error, and yet he's been able to pitch around all of that as Musselman so far stranding those 7 base runners.
Tennant comes set. Here's the 2-2 on the outside part of the plate. Strike 3 looking. That hook catches the outside part of the plate. Strikeout looking for Nick Reeves. And a big second out in this inning for Taylor Tennant.
Now 5 strikeouts for him puts him up to 19 strikeouts on the season.
And you know he was a strikeout man coming into this season after a stellar campaign last year on the varsity level. And he has continued to impress so far this year. Justin Murphy will now step in to the right-handed batter's box. First pitch to him, a breaking ball, does not catch the heart of the plate enough. Ball 1.
A little flinch there from Murphy. Almost went after that one, then held up and took ball 1.
Murphy singled last inning and struck out in his first plate appearance. Here's the 1-0 from Tennant. That one misses high. 2 balls, no strikes on Murphy.
Now that Jefferson pitcher still loosening in the bullpen down the right field line, but has been doing a little more watching than loosening, so it looks like he may be just about ready to go.
Here's the 2-0. That one lifted into right field, and will it drop it? What are they going to call it? They're going to say it drops in right field as Mason Lance couldn't quite come up with it before it hit the ground. A run will score. It'll be Ethan Wilson scoring from third base, and the Applemen get their second run across of this ball game. 10-2. Now the Jefferson advantage, an RBI single for Justin Murphy.
Yeah, great diving attempt by Lance, and he was able to play it, but it was on a short hop, and Dave Boyd, our base umpire, out between the second base bag and the mound, had a good angle, a good look at that one, and quickly threw the palms down to say that is a fair ball, all hands are safe.
Thought we were going to see back-to-back phenomenal plays to end an inning as Tennant checks over to first base just to keep Murphy honest.
Second RBI on the season for Murphy as he's able to drive in Wilson.
Here's the pitch from Tennant. That ball lifted into left center. Will that find a gap? A couple guys running over and making the catch. Who comes down with it? It'll be left fielder Hayden Stang coming down with that one. For the third out of the inning, it was Stang and Stevie Lee kind of crossing paths, and from our vantage point, hard to see, number one, if anybody got to it, and number two, who they were going to give credit to that one too. Stang came down with it, Stevie Lee cutting behind him for the third out of the inning. A run does come across for the Applemen, their second of the day in the bottom of the fifth. We'll go to the top of the sixth with Jefferson leading 10-2. This is high school baseball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the Horsemen.
Prepare for what's next or to plan ahead. We're here. Brown Funeral Home, a legacy of service since 1880.
10-2 here going into the bottom, or make that the top of the sixth inning now, as we will bounce the play-by-play back to Matt Miller and get used to this kind of setup. I believe this is going to be about the format we'll do for the majority of this season, kind of give you the Washington Nationals effect, if anybody listens to the Nationals on our radio network, which we encourage you to. We're the only Eastern Panhandle affiliate for the Nationals as their season getting ready to start on Thursday, a game against the Mets that you can catch right here on Talk Radio WRNR. But the Charlie Slows and Dave Jagler approach, they alternate the play-by-play duties throughout the game, so I think a idea we're gonna flirt around with throughout this high school baseball season.
Certainly sounds good. Didn't know that this one was going to go quite this deep after Jefferson plated 3 in the second and 6 more in the third. At that point, opening up a 10-1 lead, and now here they are with a 10-2 lead coming to the plate in this top half of inning number 6. And on the hill, Nick Reeves ready to go to work after a 1-2-3 fifth inning. Tennant is the due batter in the order, but we'll have a pinch hitter. Looks to be a number 11. The right-hand batter stands in and takes the first pitch, and it's in there at the knees for a strike, and that is Reagan Allinger. So that is strike one to the batter, who will dig back in and take a fastball that misses high, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Allinger on the season, 1 for 4, good enough for a .250 batting average. Has added a walk, making his on-base percentage 500 as he takes his strike 2. Now falls behind in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, breaking pitch there from Reeves, finding that outside corner. And now that 1-2 pitch due. Left-hander lifts the leg, delivers, and here's a bouncing ball and a couple of hops to the second baseman. Murphy stays down on it and makes that throw to Sharp at first, in time to get him. How about 4 up, 4 down for Nick Reeves?
Yeah, Reeves so far doing a phenomenal job. Still has not given up a base runner yet this year. Retired now. The first 7 batters he's seen on the season.
Catcher, number 39, Dylan McCartney.
So to bring up Dylan McCartney, first time we have seen him at the plate after taking over behind the dish earlier in the ball game. Right-hand batter here in this 6th inning with 1 out, takes strike 1. Bases empty. Reeves ready, and the pitch. That one off speed, bounces in the dirt. Ben Bartles able to hang on to that one. Now 1 ball, 1 strike. A 10-2 lead for Jefferson, trying to bounce back from their first loss of this season in Game 2 of a doubleheader against Morgantown on Saturday. This fastball's high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Baseball going to be competitive around this Eastern Panhandle this season, just like it is each year. 2-1 delivery on the way. Just off that outside corner, 3-1. Even Bartles kind of hanging on to that one, trying to frame it. Reeves may give up his first base runner unless he can battle back down in the count. Here comes that 3-1 delivery, and it misses outside. There's ball 4. So a base runner with 1 down for Jefferson, and Cullen Bear Horowitz coming to the plate. You've got Hedgesville at 5-0, a team that's off tonight, but they will be at Jefferson to take on these Cougars coming up tomorrow.
You want to go call that one?
Let's do it.
All right, we'll be there.
We'll bring
6 o'clock first pitch, 5:40 pregame, following Miller time from 5 to 5:30.
Yeah, we'll bring the camera, the radio gear, and get her done, as they say. First pitch to Horowitz, misses high for ball 1. He's got a couple of hits, has also reached on an error, been on base 3 times, has scored 2 runs. You've also got Spring Mills at 5-3 going into a game today at Washington. I'll have to check that one on the game changer, as Washington had the early lead in that one. Here's a bouncing ball in the hole between third and short and goes into left field for a hit. Horowitz swinging the hot bat right now as he is 3 for 4 with 3 singles and reaching on the error. It'll put runners at first and second with 1 away.
And this is a good game for him. Again, he came in just batting .231. Does have a couple of long balls. And we were talking in the pregame, even up till his first at-bat, that it would be nice to see him kind of evolve his game a little bit. And I think he's done that tonight, or at least taking steps in that direction with 3 singles. So raising that average, not necessarily raising that slugging percentage.
It'll bring up Mason Lance out of the number 8 spot in the order. He takes ball 1 down low. Lance gave way to Michael Jeffries, who pinch hit in the 4th inning. Jeffries grounded out, and now Lance back up there. He's got a couple of RBI on a ground ball out that brought in a run back in the 2nd, and then a bases-loaded walk in the 3rd. Takes this pitch that misses, 2 balls and no strikes. One out with runners at first and second. Two important runs out there on the pond right now as Jefferson owns a 10-2 lead. Like to find a way to get these two across. That would make it a 10-run game and force the hand of Musselman in the bottom of the sixth inning. 2-0 pitch off the plate as well. And now we await a 3-0 delivery. So Reeves retired the first four batters that he faced, but then the walk and the single, and now another base on balls, and just like that, Jefferson has loaded him up. So you've got McCartney at third, Horowitz at his second, Lance aboard at first. Number 9 hitter in the order due is Chase Anderson, but let's see what we're going to have.
Well, it was Morris getting the hit, or getting the at-bat the last time the position came through, or this part of the lineup came through. So we'll see who comes up to the plate now for the Cougars.
Coach Lowry coming down and calling on
number
a
3
pinch hitter.
Dalton Reed will be the right-handed hitter stepping in to the box.
Dalton Reed hitting here in this sixth inning with one down and the bases loaded. And Dalton Reed, one of the upperclassmen, the senior on this club. Not a lot of seniors, only 2 seniors in the starting lineup tonight for these Cougars. First baseman Sharp going to play in front of the runner. Third baseman about even with the bag. And the first pitch hit high into the air into shallow straightaway center field. Coming in on it is Hartman. He's got it. The runner is going to tag and test the arm. Here comes the throw, and not in time. McCartney able to come home and score on the sacrifice fly. Jefferson plating their first run since that 6-run third inning. Now out in front 11-2. The other runners will hold at first and second.
And it wasn't a play that you usually are going to see a runner tag up and score from third. Hartman, the ball was hit, and Hartman very shallow in center field, but had to take about a half step back to get that baseball, so couldn't get it with his momentum moving forward.
We go back to the top of the order. Hayden Stang is the batter, and he'll take a breaking pitch that misses outside for ball 1. He has walked, grounded out to the first baseman unassisted, delivered an RBI single, and last time up again, bounced out unassisted to first. Trevor Sharp playing behind the runner with runners at first and second. Inside out swing and a line drive that goes out of play off the third base side over towards the batting cage. So 1-1 the count. Musselman has a pitcher loosening, right-hander in the bullpen down the left field line. Pitcher still loosening for Jefferson down that right field line. I'm expecting to see that pitcher as we go to the bottom of this sixth inning. Stang takes a called strike here. Now at 1-2. Talked about some of the other teams around the area. Martinsburg 3-3, riding a 3-game winning streak going into a game today at Hampshire. Swing and a miss, set a pitch in the dirt. It got by Bartles, who was able to grab that one and then make the throw to first. Crossing over the bag was Sharp, and as he pulled it in, the runner tripped over the bag going by. Stang was trying to reach on that third strike pitch in the dirt, but unable to do it. Still a run does cross the plate. A hit and a couple of walks in the inning, a sacrifice fly, putting Jefferson on the board. Yet again, we'll go to the bottom of the sixth inning with Jefferson on top of Musselman, 11-2.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your 4-state roofing solution, reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
If you hang the WVU Medicine sign, certainly has helped take us to another level.
Evolving what we try to do as physicians and as a health system and organization is the mission of WVU Medicine, and it's an exciting mission to be a part of.
With the knowledge and the the years of practice that they've put into this institution, they know a lot. They can help you, and they've helped me a lot.
Having people treated locally enhances their overall care.
Hello, along with Matt Crawford, I'm Matt Miller. Caleb Valero at the studio. High school baseball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10. Don't forget the WRNR TV YouTube page. You can catch the video and the audio action there. As we expected, we do have a pitching change coming for Jefferson as Taylor Tennant's evening is done, and that looks like, is that Jordan Trunnell?
Jordan Trunnell, yep, number 10 on the mound now for the Cougars.
So Trunnell takes over for Tennant, who will go 5 complete innings, giving up just a couple of runs on 6 base hits. Pardon me, make it 7 base hits. He would strike out 5 while issuing 3 base on balls. And it will be Devin Moxley to get this bottom of the 6th inning started, taking ball 1 from Trunnell. Moxley has grounded out to second and has drawn a base on balls. He swings and grounds this one on the right side of the infield. Moving over to his left, the second baseman has it, and the throw to first is in time to get him. See who's playing second. Whether Anderson went back out there or not, no, that looks like our number 11 from earlier, and so that would be Reagan Ollinger, who is out there playing at second base, making that play. So Moxley will ground out 4-3 for a second time in this one. We'll go back to the top of the order and Blake Hartman. Right-hand batter. Takes the pitch that is on the outside corner for strike 1. Trunnell with that follow through, almost kind of bounces off the first base side of the mound at the end. And here's a bouncing ball back over the head of the pitcher, and that's going to be a tough play for the shortstop charging in. He'll scoop it up but won't even have a play. Really rolled up the backside of his glove and then up his arm as well as Gonzalez came in and a bit to his left. Really had no chance to get the speedy Hartman. I'm sure that'll be an infield base hit.
Yeah, a high chopper, if you can even consider it a chopper. It only bounced once. Just a high arcing ball right in front of the mound. It got right over top of Ollinger. And, yeah, tough play for Gonzalez. It's just not in the cards.
So Caleb Horner stands in. Takes down low for ball 1. A runner on with 1 out in this bottom half of inning number 6. Finish our high school baseball roundup here in this half inning as the pitch is bounced foul right at the plate, 1-1. Horner has a single. And then his last 2 times up, a couple of strikeouts, and both times has been caught looking. We've mentioned Hedgesville at 5-0, Spring Mills at 5-3, Martinsburg at 3-3, and then you've got Washington at 0-4, looking for their first win as they were taking on Spring Mills earlier today. Let's see if we can pull up the game changer and find out how that one has played out as the 1-1 pitch down and away, 2 balls and 1 strike. The right-hander comes set. Runner at first. First baseman playing in behind him, but between the runner and the bag, not really holding him on, but just trying to cut down that lead of Hartman a little bit. The pitch misses, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Ethan Wilson due to hit next. Quick visit as McCartney, the catcher, goes out for a quick conference, trying to settle things down for Trunnell. He's been up in the bullpen for a while.
He has.
Before finally getting into this one, so trying to work it out just a little bit as the pitch to the plate on the way, and that one in there for a strike. Thanks to Trip Tobin, as my phone is taking forever to get to the game changer, and he hands his over, and Spring Mills got the win today.
Yeah, Washington, the last time we checked, had that 2-0 lead, and now Horner draws a base on balls, and then it was all Spring Mills from there after the second inning, which is the last time we checked. The Cardinals go on for the 16-2 win.
16 unanswered runs. Nice. So that means Spring Mills is off to a 6-3 start to the season. You're looking at Jefferson trying to get the 5-1 with a win in this one. Musselman would be 2-2. Very competitive baseball in the early part of the season here in the Eastern Panhandle. Well, with runners at first and second and one away, Ethan Wilson to the plate. He will take strike one. Wilson had a base hit his last time up as he's 1 for 3. Prior to that, a ground out to third and a strikeout swinging. Toronto, and that one slipping out of the hand goes very high, as McCartney had to almost leap in the air to get that one. 1-1 the counts.
Yeah, release point not quite where it needed to be on that pitch.
Release point down. Now he's going to step off the pitching rubber after looking back towards that runner at second base.
Toronto's got to be careful. Separated those hands
a
good second before he stepped off the back of the rubber. He's ready to move both those runners into scoring position.
Ready to go with a 1-1, and it's a bouncy ball that hugs the third base line. Bear Horowitz has it right near the bag, steps on third to get the force out, and then softly throws it back to the pitcher. Had no other play, so no chance to try to turn the double play. Blake Hartman is erased on that fielder's choice ground ball that will move Horner to second, and Wilson will be aboard at first.
Thought for a second that Horowitz was gearing up to try to make a laser throw over to first base and was about to lean out the window and yell, "Don't do it, kid," but he decided wisely, said, "No, I'm just tossing it back to Toronto. Don't worry."
He says, "I got it under control." So Ben Bartles, the batter now with 2 outs and runners at first and second, and he takes ball one. He's been on base a couple of times in 3 at-bats, an RBI single back in that first inning, drew a walk in the third, a fly out to right his last time up. This pitch missing inside, now 2 balls and no strikes. 2 outs in the frame, 11-2, that Jefferson lead, bottom half of inning number 6, 7th and final inning of regulation coming up. Bartles pops this one foul off the first base side. McCartney will give it a little look, but the catcher quickly realizes he'll have no opportunity. It's out of play. So the count now at 2 balls and 1 strike. Toronto looking to close out the inning without giving up a run, despite some adventure in this half inning. He finds the outside corner with this one. Now 2-2. And Toronto saw some time on the hill last year, key part of the Jefferson pitching success. So Musselman seeing a pair of good ones with some good experience for Jefferson here tonight.
Bartles looking to get on for the 3rd time in this ball game. It was a single in the first inning. He would drive in Blake Hartman in that first inning, then would reach on a base on balls back in the 3rd, as McCartney will now go after Toronto, who Toronto just can't seem to figure out what he wants to do with this 2-2 pitch, as he's now towed the rubber and stepped off twice, as either he and McCartney aren't on the same page or something just isn't clicking with him between the ears.
Well, let's see. He goes to the rosin bag, and now back to the top of the mound, ready with the 2-ball, 2-strike pitch, the break even. On the way. Here it comes, swinging a ground ball towards the shortstop. Gonzalez has it, underhand toss to Ollinger at second. They'll get that force out of Wilson to bring the inning to a close. Again, that out recorded 6-4, and the fielder's choice ends the inning. And once again, Musselman stranding base runners, unable to get a run across. We'll go to the 7th and final inning of regulation when we return with your score. Jefferson 11 and Musselman 2.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 South in Chambersburg.
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
Was it? Oh, okay, thank you.
Cole Campbell. Happy birthday, Cole.
So what do you have, Cole Campbell? Take a look at your numbers. So we're getting the pitching change for the Musselman Applemen. Going to be the fourth pitcher of the evening for head coach Josh Hartman. Caleb Horner got the start, went 2 1/3 innings. Jared Jenkins came in relief, worked 1 2/3 innings, and Nick Reeves has worked the last 2 innings. Reeves giving up just 1 run on 1 base hit. He was able to strike out 1 while issuing a pair of base on balls. In all for Musselman pitching, they've had 4 strikeouts between the prior 3 pitchers while issuing 7 base on balls and also a couple of hit batters. And Jefferson has really been able to take advantage of those opportunities.
Cole Campbell's first outing on the mound this year, so a clean slate for him and his first action of the year. And apparently his birthday, as we hear up here in the press box, so possibly a little bit of a birthday present. Go ahead and get some time on the mound.
Well, let's see what he does, and let's just see who he will face for the Jefferson batting order here in this top half of the 7th inning. And once again, it looks like Gonzalez who will come to the plate, the shortstop who was being DH'd for in the early part of the ball game, came in to hit in the number 2 spot in the order, previously manned by that designated hitter Corey Daly, and Gonzalez had a fly out to center in the 5th inning. Now comes up to start this 7th inning, and he swings and lifts one over the head of the shortstop, dropping quickly into left center field, and that'll be down for a base hit. A nice job by Gonzalez going down to get that one.
He saw a pitch he liked and went after it.
So Stevie Lee will be the batter with Zach Rose due next. 11-2, Jefferson in command in this one, as Musselman will be down to their final at bat with the 5, 6, and 7 hitters due. Lee swinging at the first pitch, pops it up on the infield, backpedaling into shallow left field, and making that grab is the shortstop Horner. Left fielder came charging in. They were almost side by side as Horner made the call and the catch.
And so far, the Cougars here in the top of the 7th are swinging at will. 2 pitches so far now in this inning as we're in the 3rd batter. Zach Rose up to bat. He hit that rocket to center field that Blake Hartman made a fantastic play on 2 innings back. His first pitches outside for ball 1.
Yeah, Rose robbed of a hit. Otherwise, he does have a sac fly and an RBI single, a strikeout sandwiched in between on his evening, his 5th trip to the plate. He swings and fouls this one out of play along the 3rd base side. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. 1 out with a runner on. Scoring breakdown, Jefferson plated 1 in the 1st. Musselman answered with 1 in the bottom of the inning. Then Jefferson scored 3 in the 2nd, 6 in the 3rd. Neither team scored in the 4th. Musselman plated a run in the 5th, but Jefferson answered with a run in the 6th, and that's where we stand, 11-2. Pitch down and in to Zach Rose. 2 balls, 1 strike. Plate umpire catching a little heat from a Musselman spectator.
Not exactly a packed house here tonight, but still a few fans on each side.
Well bundled fans.
Yes.
2-1 down low, 3 balls, 1 strike. Let's take a look. Couldn't get the game changer to open very well. Let's see if I can get the weather app to open. Rose takes a strike at the knees on the 3-1 pitch, and it's now 3-2. Our temperature has dipped to 38.
A crisp 38.
Let's take a look. Slight wind, but no wind chill. Swinging away, Rose will bounce this one towards the first baseman. He's got it in front of the bag, hugging the line, and Trevor Sharp is able to step back and touch first base. Rose is retired. Gonzalez taking off immediately, advances to second base. He's there now with 2 away. And that is going to bring up
number 11, Reagan Allinger.
Reagan Allinger. One of these times I'll say it right. I think I've said his last name about 4 different times so far, but I hear the PA. I can trust Mr. Jenkins. So Allinger to the plate, pops it up on the infield, shortstop corner, over to his left, comes in a few steps, makes that catch, and just like that, the side is retired. A leadoff single for Jefferson, but they will leave that base runner stranded, and we will go to the bottom of the 7th. Final at-bat for the Musselman Applemen in need of runs. They will have the 5, 6, and 7 hitters due. It's Jefferson 11 and Musselman 2.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the Horsemen.
Prepare for what's next or to plan ahead. We're here. Brown Funeral Home, a legacy of service since 1880.
All right, as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, time for this date in baseball history.
Thought you were going to forget about this little segment.
Now, how could I forget this date? March the 26th of 2000. In less than 20 seconds, Seattle's Kingdome is demolished thanks to 5,800 holes filled with gelatin dynamite ignited by 21.6 miles of detonation cord. The former home of the Mariners is left as a mound of rubble over 65 feet high. This date, the year 2000. The team, by the way, had already moved into their new digs at Safeco Field back in 1999. So roughly 1 year later, they imploded the Kingdome.
I think that's exploded.
No, this is an implode.
I guess because it was inside.
Oh,
You're
yes.
right. You're right.
Yeah, this was a controlled bring down. Yeah, I'm sure you can probably find some footage of that on YouTube. All right, here we go. Bottom half of the 7th inning getting underway, and it will be Trunnell back out there looking to close this one out for Jefferson. And the first batter he will face in this 7th inning, Trevor Sharp, and he takes strike 1. Sharp in that right-hand batter's box up for a 4th time. Is grounded into a fielder's choice. We have him twice reaching on errors. And he swings and pops this one up. Very high pop-up on the left side of the infield. The third baseman taking charge, and Horowitz is there to make the grab. Yeah, ranging over to his left in the dirt, kind of in the hole in front of where the shortstop might play. Horowitz pulls that one in.
And I'm not sure you emphasized enough quite how high that baseball went.
It was up
that
there.
had more
How's
hang
that?
time than a lot of punts do in the NFL.
So now it'll bring up Cole Campbell. So he will become the 4th batter to hit in this number 6 spot in the order, which is making life fun in my scorebook. Pitch to the plate in there for a strike. I'm just going to have to put his name right here. As Cole Campbell comes to the plate in the 7th inning. Right-hand batter takes this fastball that misses high. Count it 1 ball and 1 strike. Justin Murphy would be due next, but we've got a different batter in the on-deck circle. So Coach Hartman calling on a couple of guys to swing the bat here as the pitch to the plate is bounced foul down that third base side. Campbell came in and did a nice job pitching in the top of the 7th inning. And now getting a chance to swing it at the plate. Count to him at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Trunnell ready, and the pitch hit in the air down the right field line. This could be trouble. It's in foul territory and will drop as a foul ball. Rose, the first baseman, going back on it, looking up over his shoulder. Really didn't have much of a chance. Neither did the right fielder, Lance, coming in. That one drops as a foul ball, and the count holds 1-2.
Looks like the batter on deck is Mitchell Beto, who's going to get his first action of this ball game. And looking at the stats over the season so far, just going to get his second at-bat of this season.
So Beto in the on-deck circle. There's one out. Nobody on with Cole Campbell at the plate. Awaiting that 1-2. Trunnell ready. Lifts the leg. Here it comes. And that fastball is, wow, on the outside corner. About belt high, taken for a called strike. That strikeout will be the first for Trunnell. 2 outs, bases empty, as it will bring up Mitchell Beto. Beto bats from the left side. Takes over for Murphy, who went 2 for 3 in his 3 at-bats. And now we're going to have time taken as Jefferson will send a coach out. I believe that's probably Coach Cross. He is so well bundled up on this chilly evening. Kind of hard to see from our angle.
It's a balmy 38. What are you talking about?
A balmy 38. Yeah, what am I talking about?
You're in shorts and a short-sleeve shirt. I don't want to hear it.
We've got a heated press box. So,
yeah. With the heat not on, though. You did turn the heat off, didn't you?
Well, I tried. I turned what I could down. What's that? Oh, did you come back over? I didn't even notice.
I thought I could feel some heat coming out of here. I just figured it was...
Now our plate umpire, Jeff King, going to head out and stop the conversation on the mound. Hey, can we finish this already?
I'm not sure what I don't. There is somebody warming up down the right field line in the Jefferson bullpen, so I'm not sure whether it was a attempt to stall a little bit, but at this point it's 38 degrees outside. You have a game tomorrow. If you're Jefferson, wouldn't you just like to get this last out with Trunnell and call it a day and get yourself a nine-run victory? But who am I to question John Lowry?
Well, you got a lefty working in the pen, so maybe if Trunnell misses on a pitch or two here, you go ahead and bring him in and get the lefty-lefty matchup. I don't know. Let's wait and see. And Trunnell misses high, ball 1. So you did buy him a few extra pitches down there, so let's wait and see. What is this pitch count?
Trunnell's at what looks like about 25.
Yeah, somewhere in that ballpark. As this pitch is in there for a strike.
20.
So as long as he throws under 30, he would have a chance to come back and pitch again tomorrow. Otherwise would need at least a day of rest if he gets to 31 pitches. Beto with a swing and a miss at this one. And it's now a ball and 2 strikes. Couldn't quite catch up with the high fastball.
All right, he's got 2 pitches to play with here. He's at 28 pitches right now. So
well, but he can finish out the batter, though, correct? So it won't matter. So as long as he can finish out this batter, he's got a chance. The 1-ball, 2-strike pitch is due. Here it comes. And that one misses inside as Beto gets out of the way. And it is 2-2. 2 outs, bases empty. Bottom of the 7th. Looking to put the finishing touches on this one. But, hey, don't go anywhere. The postgame show brought to you by the Final Score. Coming up after this one, including the Dynamark Atlantic Security stats of the game. Now this pitch taken on the outside corner, and that 2-2 is a called strike 3. So a pair of strikeouts looking in the inning. The only 2 strikeouts in 2 innings of relief for Jordan Trunnell, and he is able to close it out for Taylor Tennant as the starter for Jefferson will get the victory in this one. But we'll come back and tell you all about it. Again, our post-game show brought to you by the Final Score, with plenty of screens to watch the games, pool tables, trivia nights, and great food and drink selections. Meet your friends at the Final Score, 1517 Winchester Avenue, just south of Martinsburg. Final in this one, it is Jefferson 11 and Musselman 2.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the Horsemen.
To prepare for what's next or to plan ahead, we're here. Brown Funeral Home, a legacy of service since 1880.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your four-state roofing solution, reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
If you hang the WVU Medicine sign, certainly has helped take us to another level.
He literally saved my life. It's just mind-boggling to me that he was able to do what he did.
We're able to affect much more of a difference for our patients with these resources.
Having people treated locally enhances their overall care.
They treat you great, and they're down to earth in the West Virginia way that all West Virginians treat each other.
Where we will be for opening day coming up this Thursday. That's Major League Baseball opening day. Tonight, our opening night of our high school baseball coverage. And along with Matt Crawford, I'm Matt Miller with Caleb Valero at the studio. Now, this one, Matt went to Jefferson and really went to him early. After each team plated a run in the first inning, Jefferson scored 3 in the second inning and scored those 3 runs on just 1 hit. There was 1 error, 2 walks, and a hit batter as a part of that inning. That made it 4-1 Jefferson, and then they really put it out of reach with a 6-run third inning when they sent 11 batters to the plate and again scored those 6 runs on only 3 base hits.
Yeah, it was a outing for Caleb Horner on the mound for Musselman that just didn't go his way. Never really had his knockout stuff, if you will, and Jefferson does what Jefferson does. They took advantage of opportunities. They took advantage of base runners. Didn't do it by spraying the ball all over the field. It was small ball. It was working bunts. It was drawing walks. It was taking advantage of errors in the field for Musselman. They did it the way that Jefferson wins baseball games, and final score indicates how dominant this game was.
So Jefferson taking that 10-1 lead going into the bottom of the third inning held Musselman scoreless for a second straight at bat. Then neither team scored in the fourth. Jefferson held scoreless in the top of that fifth inning. Musselman was able to plate a run in the bottom of the fifth inning. Clutch RBI single with 2 outs in the inning coming for Justin Murphy. That cut the deficit down to 10-2, but Jefferson would get the run right back in the top of the sixth inning. A sacrifice fly coming off the bat of Dalton Reed with the bases loaded and 1 out helped to push the cushion to 11-2, and well, that would be the final as neither team would put a run on the board in their last at bat in that 7th inning. All right, we'll take a break and then come back and run the numbers from this one as we wrap up our post-game show. It's West Virginia High School Baseball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your four-state roofing solution, reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
All right, time for us to close out our post-game show, brought to you by the Final Score at 1517 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg, as we take a look at the game stats. They're brought to you by Dynamark Atlantic Security. Hey, don't become a statistic. Protect your family and your home with the local alarm professionals at Dynamark Atlantic Security. They have the solutions to meet your needs and local monitoring, too. To learn more, call Ben Copenhaver at 304-671-2158. We always begin with the pitching totals. Let's start with Caleb Horner getting the start for the host Musselman. Applemen went 2 1/3 innings, gave up only 3 hits, but did offer up 4 walks and a couple of hit batters. Struck out 1 and 9 runs crossed under his watch. Of course, not all his responsibility, as there were 3 errors committed while he was on the mound. Jared Jenkins came in relief. He gave up just a run on 3 hits in 1 2/3 innings. He would strike out 2, gave up 1 walk. Nick Reeves, 2 solid innings in relief, a run on a hit, 1 strikeout and 2 walks. And then Cole Campbell at the end came in to close it out with 1 inning of relief, no runs, 1 hit, no strikeouts, no walks. I tell you, while it's a disappointing loss, I know, for Coach Hartman and the Applemen, at the same time, I think you look at this and go, there's some promising things with those 3 relief pitchers.
Yeah, absolutely. If you take away the unfortunate day for Horner, everybody out of the bullpen did a fantastic job of not extending the damage anymore. Obviously, the damage had already been done for the most part, but they did a great job of kind of sealing off the injury a little bit and not letting this game get extremely out of hand, which if you'd have told me that this game would have gone 7 after that big inning back early in when they made the switch from Trunnell, or from Caleb Horner, rather, I would have said you're nuts. This game had a 5-run mercy rule feel to it almost the entire way. So, yeah, a lot of credit to that Musselman pitching staff.
Meanwhile, the pitching staff for Jefferson, well, they got it done from the get-go, as the starter, Taylor Tennant, gave up just 2 runs on 7 hits in 5 innings. He struck out 5, walked 3. We had him up around 93 pitches. Didn't seem to have his best stuff, but certainly battled through. Jordan Trunnell came in relief. No runs, 1 hit. Over 2 innings, he would strike out 2 and walk 1. No decision in any way, no save for Trunnell in those 2 innings, although he does preserve the win, if you will, for Tennant, who goes to 3-0 on the season. Let's give you just a couple of offensive numbers. Hayden Stang, out of that leadoff spot, a walk and RBI single, scored a couple of runs. Corey Daly had a walk and a single in there as well, and a couple of at-bats for Camion Gonzalez. Stevie Lee had a big double to bring in 3 in the 3rd inning, a double and 3 runs batted in. And Zach Rose had a sac fly and an RBI single. Just production really up and down the order for Jefferson, including even Mason Lance with a couple of runs batted in on a ground out and a bases-loaded walk. A sacrifice fly for Dalton Reed late in the game. For the Musselman Applemen, Blake Hartman had a couple of hits in his first 2 at-bats to extend his hot season start to 6 straight hits, then finally bounced into a fielder's choice in the 4th, but came right back with an infield single in the 6th inning. He goes 3 for 4 and scores 1 of the 2 runs. Caleb Horner had a single and a walk, and Ethan Wilson had a single and a run scored. Ben Bartles had an RBI single in that 1st inning. He drew a base on balls, an RBI single in there as well for Justin Murphy, who went 2 for 3. So some pretty good offensive numbers for Musselman, but just not enough as they strand too many on base. Here's the final totals. Jefferson, 11 runs on 8 hits with a couple of errors, 9 left and 6 in scoring position. Musselman, 2 runs on 8 hits with 3 errors, but they stranded 11 and left 6 in scoring position.
It was all about taking advantage of the opportunities you were given. Musselman didn't, for the most part, and Jefferson did. And I think that's the storyline of this ball game, was taking advantage of opportunities.
The time of the game was 2 hours and 30 minutes. Tennant with the win is 3-0. Horner will suffer the loss 0-1 on the season. Musselman as a team now at 2-2, while Jefferson picks up the victory, improving to 5-1. This look at the stats brought to you by Dynamark Atlantic Security. Learn more about how you can protect your home and family by calling Ben Copenhaver at 304-671-2158. We wrap up our Final Score post-game show with our next broadcast, and that'll come your way tomorrow. Looking forward to that one.
Absolutely. It'll be a battle of two teams. One you saw tonight in the Jefferson Cougars taking on the Hedgesville Eagles down in Shenandoah Junction. It'll be a 5:40 pregame for us following a abbreviated Miller time from 5 to 5:30. First pitch will be at 6 p.m. Down in Jefferson County. And it's two teams that are, I think, probably number one and number two when you look at the favorites to take this region or be in that regional final, coming out of separate sections in this region. So I think it'll be a early sign of what could possibly be to come late in the postseason come mid to late May.
And we are looking forward to bringing it to you tomorrow. Again, that game time is at 6 down at Shenandoah Junction, and we'll go on the air at 5 with an abbreviated Miller time leading up to the pregame show at 5:40, and then the opening pitch at 6 o'clock, Hedgesville at Jefferson High School baseball tomorrow on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10. Speaking of TV 10, getting back into our regular programming coming up, while on the radio side, stay tuned for CBS Sports Radio until 10:15, and then it's the Washington Wizards. They're on the West Coast taking on the LA Lakers tonight, and we'll have that broadcast with Dave Johnson coming up here in just a little bit. Well, thanks to each of our sponsors for supporting our coverage of high school baseball. As always, we thank you for joining us at each of our broadcast and telecast entities. Thanks to Steve Campbell, Athletic Director here at Musselman, all the staff and the folks at Applemen Park for their help, support, their hospitality for our game broadcast. Thanks to both head coaches, to Josh Hartman, to John Lowry Sr., providing us with information and interviews for the broadcast as well. Our studio engineer is Caleb Valero. For Matt Crawford, I'm Matt Miller, reminding you one more time, final score tonight, it's Jefferson 11 and Musselman 2 until tomorrow. So long, everyone.
You've been listening to West Virginia High School Baseball. Today's game broadcast has been brought to you by
Miller Honda, Cox Holiday Professionals CPAs, Brown Funeral Homes, Miller's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, the Mirius Group and Ameriprise Financial, WVU Medicine Berkeley and Jefferson Medical Centers, Parsons Ford, W. Harley Miller Systems, D&N Auto, the Mortgage Center, the Hagerstown Suns, Haas's Steak and Sea, The Final Score, and Dynamark Atlantic Security.
For the continued excitement of high school, college, and Major League Baseball, keep it tuned to FM 106.5, AM 740, Comcast Cable Channel 10, and online talkradio WRNR.com. All rights reserved.